to our Sunday live stream. I hope you are doing well. We do this every last Sunday of the month, so it's very, very exciting. Wait, I've got a message on the screen, so let me just check the settings. This always happens. Wait a minute. Let me see. Why is this saying we've got to be? It does this every now and then. You set this up, you have the camera one way, and then when you go live, it changes the orientation and it will not let you switch it. So I'm really sorry. We're going to have to be portrait this month because YouTube is unpredictable. Who knows what's going to happen? But hi guys, thank you so much for. Hi Berlin, how are you doing? Thank you all for coming. And this is going to be a super, super fun live stream because it's going to be all about visiting Disney in the summer. And it's very, very exciting every year because I think particularly this year as well, there's so much going on. Like, we know the parks are evolving, but there's so many new things coming to the parks whilst all this evolution is happening. So I think this is going to be a really, really good summer to visit. And so we're going to dive into that. We've got some amazing questions. And yeah, I want to hear all about your trips. Are you planning to visit this summer? Do you like summer trips, or is there a different time of year you like to visit? Do you have any summer tip tricks that you use? So always love the interaction. So do write in the comment box if you have any questions, any comments, anything you'd like to add. Do it because we love hearing the interaction. But I thought I would start with some questions, one of them from Berlin, which is amazing, and I got a similar question also from Liz, and it is, how do you deal with the heat, or how do you deal with the intense heat of summer? And I think this is the most important part of a summer trip because even if you're visiting somewhere like Disneyland Paris, in the summer now it can get hot, and we know in Florida it's not hot, it's like living on the sun. So I think these are really, really good questions, and I think it's always good to come prepared. So I now will always bring a portable fan, and I was thinking, oh my god, they're going to be like super expensive, or the cheap ones are going to be ineffectual, but they're really not. I think my fan cost me about £12 off of Amazon. It's got 3 settings, it's amazing, the charge lasts really, really long. Also, you can get those like towels that kind of they don't get like super wet, like you can wring them out, put them on your neck, super, super, super nice. Taking those afternoon breaks makes such a difference. The great thing about if you visit the US is there is air conditioning everywhere, so you'll be okay when you're in indoor queues, restaurants, shops, your hotel. Disneyland Paris, there is less of that. But what I would say is the only hotel I kind of avoid in the summer months of Disneyland Paris is Hotel Santa Fe, because that's the only hotel that doesn't have air conditioning. It does have a ceiling fan that can help a bit, but if you happen to visit during a big heat wave, then you could be in trouble. If you're someone like me that runs hot, like, it could be an issue. All of the other hotels, though, do have air conditioning that you can control. So that's good. And I also found a hack in Disney World, because you have air conditioning in your room, but it tends to only go down to a certain temperature. And also, when you go out, it turns off. So I got a little carrier bag that I got from Walmart when I went to get some drinks, and I tied that to the air conditioning unit. And because there was always something moving in the room, it kept the air conditioning on. So when you came back to your room, it was very, very cool. And also, if you go onto YouTube and type in, like, how do you change the temperature in your room in Disney World, there's a hack that I can't remember off the top of my head, but the video's like 2 minutes long, and it shows you exactly how you can manually lower the thermostat if you need even more, if you like it a bit more chilly. So there are all these top tips. Hi Louise, it's lovely to see you. How are you doing? Hi WRM. Oh, I love that your, I'm assuming it's to do with wrestling, but do you have your name? We'll give you a proper shout out if we know your name. It'll be amazing. Loving, Louise, you've brought some of the towels, because yeah, it definitely helps a bit, especially like on the back of your neck and stuff, and you're just like, okay, I could cool down a little bit. It really, really helps. Yes, so we didn't mean to be in portrait. This is the problem. I had set this up to be in the usual landscape, but every now and then YouTube just likes to throw a little curveball in, and when I went live, it was like, no, you can't do it. We've switched it the other way. Turn your phone around. So I do apologise. But thank you so much for joining. It's always wonderful to hear from you. And I know you are going to Disneyland Paris this summer. I know Berlin is going to Disneyland Paris this summer. So it's so, so great to be talking all about summer trips. Hi, Mel. Thank you so much. Oh, hi, May. What a lovely name. I love the spelling as well. So lovely of you to join us. And yeah, I think just coming prepared. And like I say, making sure you can take a break so you can get out of the sun, because it's also that thing of it's draining being in the sun. If you don't have a hat, like, you could very easily get heat stroke. Something I also found really, really helpful is, particularly when I was in Florida, I always used to drink loads and loads of water, but I never ever felt like 100% great. The last couple of trips, I've started drinking drinks with electrolytes in as well, and it makes such a difference. And I would actually say, I mean, I don't know how many of them you can drink a day. Maybe it's dangerous to drink too many. But I would always kind of do a balance of both and make sure you're getting enough of that, because that makes such a huge difference. But yeah, I think that's the way to manage the heat. Just take it slow and steady. Take a little fan, take a little cooling towel, take a break, sit in the air conditioning and enjoy yourselves. Yes, Berlin, that's a great point. Berlin says, I tend to do the shows that have aircon in the afternoon at the peak heat times, and then take a trip to the hotel for a rest. And that is such a good point, because like being able to just sit, cool down, see a show, so you're still in Disney, you're still feeling that spirit, is amazing. And then, like you say, having that break in the hottest and busiest time of the day back in the hotel is the one, because all of the parks between like just after lunch till about 5 o'clock is the busiest time of day and the hottest time of day. So you can just stand in queues for ages and ages and ages whilst you're boiling yourself. So I always think that is the time to go and take a break, let everyone else be in the queue, and then come back and enjoy the evenings. Hi, Gamertag, lovely to see you. Yes, shopping breaks as well indoors in that air conditioning is amazing. And yeah, this is the thing. I feel like the downside of Europe is we are not prepared for the heat, particularly the UK. Like, our houses are built to retain heat. And like with every summer it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And I'm like, we can't cope in Europe. So Disneyland Paris is less equipped, obviously, than Florida, because Florida naturally are more equipped because of the temperature. Although Florida is getting hotter and hotter every year as well. I know some people that are currently there, and they're like, it's unreal. And I'm like, oh my God, it's getting to a point where you kind of almost have to avoid the summer months because it's so hot. I know when I was there last September, I was like, I don't know if I can do September, because it's just unreal how hot it is now. But taking these things, or also something I take, particularly to Florida, because it also has the rain, is a UV umbrella. So you can use it in the rain or to shade if you're outside. And because sometimes, say you're in a park like Epcot that is very exposed and you're walking around, sometimes it's nice just to have that umbrella and you're reflecting the rays away and you're a little bit cooler. And then if you ever get caught out short by a storm, I do that, because I always prefer an umbrella over a poncho, because the Florida heat and a poncho do not work. You're just like, do you know what? It's a 40-degree heat. I'll just cover myself in plastic and hope for the best. It's the what, like, literally, you're like, I'm going to pass out and die. It's awful. So I always prefer an umbrella for the rainstorms. Ideally, just get inside and wait 20 minutes and it'll go. If you're ever out and you're running to get somewhere, having a little umbrella that's good for both rain and sun, I think is so, so, so helpful. Hi Nick, lovely to see you. It's so exciting. You're going to Orlando a week on Monday. That is going to be absolutely amazing. And it's going to be a solo trip, which is going to be absolutely incredible. Like, you are in for an absolute treat. Like, getting to visit the parks the exact way you want and do all the things you like on your own schedule, on your own budget, is a dream. Like, it's going to be so much fun, and what an incredible trip you're going to have. But I, like you say, I think it is natural to feel anxious, particularly when you are going long haul. But I always say, I think Disney's a great place for solo travellers, because it's super, super safe. And there's always so many things to be doing that you never really feel lonely or have even a second to think about being on your own, because you're like, oh my God, no, I want to go see the show. Oh my God, I want to go to this. Right, I'm going to go meet Mickey. There's just so much going on. So I think you're going to have an amazing time. And it's just so wonderful to go somewhere so joyful, so uplifting. And there's so many solo travellers as well in Disney World. You are going to fit totally in, and the cast members always go above and beyond to make you feel super welcome. So I'm just so excited for you. I always love hearing about people's trips, because it's just so exciting, and I get excited about other people's trips as my own. But yes, I have been to NASA before. I think it's such a fantastic place to visit in Orlando. Well, not in Orlando because it's outside Orlando, but if you're visiting Florida, NASA's amazing. And even if you aren't particularly interested in space, it's still incredible. It's so interesting. If you're lucky, you might also be there when there's a launch, which is always so exciting to see. I don't know if I've said, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but I had a funny NASA story because I was driving there, so I trusted the sat nav. And I was like, okay, we're going to Kennedy Space Center. Type it in, drive. And then we're driving on this land that has a lot of like very straight roads and a lot of trees. And then out of nowhere, like the police pull up. And I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And the sat nav had taken us to the federal part of NASA, like the government part of NASA. We'd broken in. And I was like, oh my God. And luckily they understood that obviously we're English, we were following the sat nav, it was the sat nav's fault. But I'm like, can you imagine if I ended up in prison because I'd broken into NASA because of the sat nav? So don't always trust the sat nav. And once you get close enough, there'll be signs. So just follow the signs. The signs know what they're doing. What a story. But yeah, I absolutely love that. And I think that's the thing, like there's so many amazing things to do in Florida outside the theme parks. It's just such a great holiday destination, which is so much fun. So you're going to have an absolute blast. It's going to be the best. And of course, some of the things we're going to be talking about is all of the things that are coming to the parks this year. So we might as well start with Disney World as we're talking about it, because we've got loads of things coming. Geo 82, brand new adult-only bar in Epcot. First adult-only venue in Disney World, which is very exciting. It's been very controversial. Some people are very excited, some people are very angry. I personally think it's going to be awesome. It looks like a really nice kind of luxe, relaxed space. You could go there just for some drinks, but they also are doing a fireworks package. It's very expensive. It's like hundreds of dollars. But you do get drinks and small plates included and a view over the fireworks, which does look fantastic and a nice like adult event to go to. I do think it's great that Disney are kind of tapping into, they know that there's a lot of adults that visit Disney now. It's not just traditional families visiting anymore. So they are doing more things to kind of be like, we know you want some things for yourself. So it's like, this is very exciting. So I can't believe that's happening. The new Disney Villain show is just about to start, and the Little Mermaid show is coming back on Tuesday, so tomorrow. All of these things are happening. I'm so excited for this villain show. It looks absolutely incredible. It's a full show. I love the Disney villains. I don't think they get enough representation. So to finally get a show is going to be fantastic. Disney Starlight Parade. Brand new nighttime parade. Looks incredible. Haven't got a date yet, but it is going to be coming this summer. And I think it's going to be so fantastic, because Disney parades are always amazing, but when you have the ones that are lit up at night, they're so special, and they just bring something extra to the park. It's another opportunity to see some of your favourite characters, and it'll be one of those things that, say you do have that afternoon break, you can then come back in the evening, and once it's got dark, you're going to have this parade, and then happily ever after fireworks, which, what an amazing evening to be having in Magic Kingdom. Test track. Is that going to be opening soon? There's a lot of talk about it may open this summer. It looks kind of like it's getting close to being ready. So again, we don't have a date, but I'm hopeful that that will be opening this summer. And it's going to be great to see what the updates are. Even though it's updated, I think they're going more back to the test track that everyone used to love. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be so exciting. This summer, something we haven't had for years, both Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach are open, which is unreal. We've never had that. Like, for years upon years, it's been one water park at a time. And typically over the summer, it's always Typhoon Lagoon. So this year, you can have the opportunity to do either or both, which can be super fun. There's also after-hour events over the summertime. So if you're looking to go to the parks when they're a bit quieter, there's less people. I know places like Epcot, Hollywood Studios are doing them over the summer. And you also have Typhoon Lagoon have H2O glow nights. So if you want to go to a water park at night where it's all lit up, you get DJs, all stuff like that. That looks very fun. It does look like a great event. Food and Wine is going to be starting the 28th of August over in Epcot. I'm so glad we have a date. And that's always one of the best festivals in Epcot, I think. So much amazing food to try. Always can't wait for the menus to come out. Need to know what there's going to be to eat, which is always so good. Halloween. Sounds weird to be talking about it in summer, but it's coming the 15th of August. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party will start that date. The tickets are very expensive. They have gone up, and it's that case of the August and September tickets aren't too bad. The closer it gets to Halloween, the more expensive it gets. And they're like, the ones on Halloween Day are nearly like $250, which is crazy money. So that's getting very, very expensive. But it is a fun event. And if you were looking for something where you can see a lot of characters in Halloween costumes, the Hocus Pocus show, the trick-or-treating, you get special fireworks, the Boo to You parade, lots of Disney villains, it's so much fun. The only thing I would say is it is the same every year. I would like one year for them to kind of maybe do some updates. And I think it's difficult because everyone loves Boo to You, everyone likes the Hocus Pocus show. So I think they don't want to change it too much. But it is that thing of, if you go to Orlando during that season multiple times, you're like, I don't need to do that every year because it is the same. But it is very, very fun. And you get to dress up. The only time you get to dress up, which is so good. And guys, like when I was a kid in the UK, I would be put in a bin bag and told I was a witch. That's what we did for Halloween. You go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Night, it's like walking on a movie set. The costumes and the people that go all out in the US is incredible. That alone is worth going to see because you see the most amazing costumes. It's so, so, so good. Yes, you make such a good point. It would be amazing if Paris had Paint the Night. It would be so great if Disneyland Paris did start having a nighttime parade again, because it's always so, so good. They did used to have a version of the electrical... I want to keep calling it the Electrical Sky Parade, because obviously that's what the recent drone show was called. But they used to have the Electrical Main Street Parade at Disneyland Paris, or like a version of it ages ago, and I'd love it if they bring that back. But yes, I love that, Nick, you've also seen a nighttime parade. Love that you dressed up as Russell from Up. That is iconic. What an amazing costume. Yes, Halloween Horror Nights. This is the thing. If we're talking about Orlando, we have to mention Halloween Horror Nights because it literally is amazing. It's much cheaper than Mickey's Not So Scary. However, what's interesting, so Mickey Not So Scary is its one ticket price and you get everything included. And Universal, again, you can just pay the base price and go in, but you do have options. So you can go in and do Scream early. So if you want to get into the park early and get to the scare zones before they open, so you could be the first person in the house. The houses, that was like about £40 extra. So I definitely think that's worth it if you're thinking of doing Halloween Horror Night. The thing I would actually really recommend is the Express Pass, because when I was there, every house was 70 minutes and over to queue. There's 10 houses, you just cannot get them all done in one night. But with the Express Pass, we waited, most of them, like 5 minutes, some of them maybe 10 minutes to get in. Got to do every single house, every scare zone, we had a sit-down meal, we got to do absolutely everything. It was amazing. The Express Pass is expensive, but one of the reasons it is expensive is to kind of keep the numbers of people buying it low. So it is pricey, but then you are getting a good experience. And what I would say is, if you buy the Halloween Horror Nights ticket and the Express Pass, it will still be cheaper than Mickey's Not So Scary if you're going more towards Halloween. So it's things that are way up. But if you were looking for a more scary event, a more adult event, Halloween Horror Nights is where it's at. And this is why I'm excited. They've already announced we're going to be having Halloween Horror Nights here. Can't wait. It's going to be so, so good. But yes, the frequent fear pass is still a thing, which is great. So if you are going to be there for 2 weeks and you wanted to go to Halloween Horror Nights multiple times, getting the frequent fear pass is definitely worthwhile. And again, they have tiers. So some of them, it's just like your entry. Some of them you can add the Express Pass onto. So yeah, you've got different options. But if you're wanting to go more than once, that's definitely a good idea. But I love that Halloween starts in August. In Orlando is absolutely incredible. Hi Natalie, thank you so much for joining us. It's lovely to see you. And thank you so much for Gamer Tag. That's such a lovely comment. So I appreciate that so, so much. But I had a really good question actually, because MamaKit85 asked, do you know about the Cool Kid Summer event at Disney World? And I had not heard about this. And partly because I don't have kids and I don't visit with kids, I never know anything to do with kids. But I thought, oh, what's this? Because it sounds like maybe they're going to have special events or maybe it's an offer. So I thought I would look it up. And it seems a little bit sneaky because basically it isn't anything. It's just a marketing campaign to kind of go, oh, if you want to visit with kids, you could have a cool summer by coming to Disney World and you could go on this ride or see this show. So it's all things that we already know are happening in Disney World, but they're just kind of trying to appeal, like, and let families know you could have a cool summer if you came to Disney World. Interestingly, this is my conspiracy theory, because Epic Universe is obviously opening, well, it's open, it's happened, Disney seemingly have gone, adults are probably going to go to Epic Universe, so we're not even going to attempt to appeal to them. So we're going to really market towards families, because a lot of the Universal parks aren't super suitable, for, especially for very young kids, because there's not a lot of rides they can go on and things like that. So I think the people Disney are targeting to try and compete with Epic Universe and Universal is families with younger kids. So Cool Kid Summer sounds fun, but it's not actually anything. They're not even, I thought maybe they would be putting on some kid-friendly events, but no, it's just a marketing thing, which is such a shame, because that would have been amazing if they did have more. Kevin, you said you've just grabbed your tickets for Mickey's Not So Scary. First time for you. You're going to have a blast. It's so much fun, and I am obsessed with the Hocus Pocus show. It's so good. I think for me that's my like standout thing. It's just such a hoot, and I think you're going to be so entertained. I think you're going to love it. Are you going to go in costume? Are you thinking about what costume you might wear? Always love to know. And Nick, you've said you're taking half cash, half card. And yeah, I think that could be a really good option, because on the very rare occasion, if tills and stuff, technology went down, having some cash on you, I think could be a really good option. I now use a Starling card when I go away. And what I really like about that is, as soon as I use my card, I get a notification to tell me how much I've spent in dollars, how much that is in pounds, and also you can put your money into pots, and so you know, like, this is for dining, this is for merchandise, whatever it is, so you can kind of separate your money, which is really handy. The one thing I would say is, in the parks, you're absolutely fine if you want to use things like Apple Pay or paying via your mobile phone. However, outside of the parks, if you're going to places like Walmart or stuff like that, not all of them take Apple Pay. So do always take a card or cash with you as a backup, because yeah, I've seen some people kind of get a trolley full of things and then get to the till and then they can't pay and they've just abandoned it, which is such a shame. So in the parks though, they kind of accept any form of payment, which is fantastic. Yes, Natalie, you think Disney will still be busy because they have hardcore fans? And yeah, I totally agree. I think like Disney will always be busy, but I do think it's interesting that they're just kind of, they're not acknowledging that Epic Universe is going to be a draw. Because I do know there's going to be a lot of people who, like you said, there's always going to be a hardcore of Disney fans, but there's also a lot of people that visit Disney are also people that are just going to Orlando in general, so they want to visit everything there. And now when people visit, they're having to divvy up their holiday differently. So if they would normally stay on site at Disney World for 2 weeks and maybe do a couple of days at Universal, now they're looking at doing a week at Universal, a week at Disney. And it's interesting that Disney are just kind of like, do it then. And I'm like, we're not going to try and lure people in, because like you said, the hardcore people are always going to go to Disney. But yeah, it's interesting that they're just like, nah, it's not going to be a problem. And I'm like, you're still going to make money, sure, but it's interesting to kind of not address the fact that you've got this big thing happening. So exciting, Kevin, you're going on October 26th. That's going to be absolutely incredible. It's going to be so good. And yes, no costume, just spooky Disney shirt and Loungefly that is villains. I kind of totally get this, because I really struggled when I was going, because I was like, if I wear a costume, I don't want it to be a costume, because I can't be dealing with layers. I don't want to have loads of like makeup, because when you're in that heat, it's just not the one. Like, it's not the one. So I was like, what is the thinnest possible costume? The least amount of layers that I could wear, because I think that is a total consideration that you need. Nick, this is a great question. Single rider line or pay for fast pass? So interestingly, Disney World does not have many single rider lines. There's only like 4 or 5, maybe 6 now, because Rise of the Resistance does have a single rider line, even though it's not officially on the website. And it's one of those, they keep testing on and off, but they've been testing it for a while now, so it looks like it's going to be permanent. But because there aren't many single rider lines, the multi-pass can be a really good option, particularly for Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. Those are the two parks that you really get the most out of it. But I would say definitely use the single rider line when you are solo, because it does tend to save you time, and you can use it on things like Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which always has a really long queue, or Expedition Everest, Smuggler's Run. There's a few rides. I wish there was more. It feels like the park that has the least amount of single rider queues. But yeah, I do like multipass. And what's good, I think, when you're solo, it's easier to budget. Because say you just did one day in Magic Kingdom and one day in Hollywood Studios, it would cost you maybe $60. And you've got both of those covered, and you'll be able to get loads of things done in those days. And then the rest of your trip, you can kind of just visit and do the other things that you didn't get done, which is nice. Yes, Kevin, I totally agree. Don't want to be uncomfortable with those Halloween costumes. And yeah, that's the thing. Some people look amazing, but I don't know how you're surviving. Like, I saw some ladies once, and it was incredible because they'd come as the Sanderson sisters, but they were in the thick, like the heavy skirts with lots of layers, the capes, and I was like, I don't know how you're doing this. It's incredible, but I would literally walk up my hotel room and immediately collapse. I couldn't do it. Kevin says, sometimes when I do the single rider line, the people I'm paired with act like I'm intruding on their ride vehicle, but it's totally worth it. Yeah, that is so true. Like, some people are like, there's someone joining, and it's like, yep, that's how it works. Like, they are not letting any space go free. But it's funny because sometimes you end up with amazing interactions. So I remember once I went on Rock and Roller Coaster, and I had on a Ursula t-shirt, and the lady I was sat next to had a Ariel t-shirt on, and it was so funny because we were like, oh no, we're like mortal enemies. But we've both come for the same theme, which I thought was amazing. Hi Sinead, lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, that's such a lovely compliment. Thank you so much. It's so exciting we're going to Disneyland Paris in October. And yes, my recent trip to Disneyland Paris was amazing. The music festival season was absolutely incredible. I was so blown away. And having characters around the parks and live music makes the park feel so alive. So I really hope this is something they carry on doing, because we used to have roaming characters at Disneyland Paris and they stopped doing it. But this kind of is a nice hybrid, because they're not roaming, they're in designated spots and certain times of the day, but just being able to do that and not have to queue for ages to see characters and there be live music was amazing. That is something we're going to talk about for Disneyland Paris this summer, because it is absolutely awesome. What I would say is it's really not possible to do everything in one day because there's so much going on. But if you're there for a few days, I would just pick a few things each day, maybe 3 things you'd like to see. Spread them out over a couple of days. If you won't have time to do all of the individual performances, don't worry, because the grand finale, which is at 7:30 at night, combines all of those performances and more. So if you don't get to see something, you will get a taste of it in the evening, which is absolutely amazing. What I found worked really well was getting to the performances about half an hour early so that you could get a spot where you could see. What's really handy is on the app itself, if you go to show times, you'll be able to see all of the different music festival shows. And then if you click on this specific show, you can look on the map to see where in the park they're going to be. And then about half an hour before, they will put these like big dots on the ground that say music festival season, and that lets you know where you can stand. So that was a really handy thing to have. Something I loved was the Minnie's marching band, and I just per chance ended up, I think, being in the best spot to see it, because I was waiting by the gates because I knew they were going to be coming out at the top of Main Street, by Flora's, by those gates. They were going to come out that way. So I thought, I'll catch them as they come out. And there was really no one standing around there. A lot of people were waiting on Main Street. Now, it is worth noting that the parade only goes down to Waltz. So if you're going to stand on Main Street, make sure you only stand kind of from Flora's or the Emporium down to Waltz. But I was by this gate, saw them go past. I thought this was amazing. And then the cast members then formed a line across the road, and they were like, oh, you can follow. And I was like, what? And so I got to follow the band down Main Street, and then I was like stood in the centre of Main Street, castle in the background, all of them performing in front of me. It was absolutely amazing. And I was like, this has inadvertently been the best spot that I could have picked. So that's really, really, really good. And then you get to see the entire show, which is really, really fun. If you want to go see the music hits in concert, that is over in Videopolis, and that can be very, very busy, very, very popular. So you need to get there really early to get a seat. However, what you could do instead is if you mobile order from Cafe Hyperion and set it about half an hour before the show time, then you can collect your meal, find a table near the Videopolis end and watch it that way. So that could be a really good tip if you don't want to have to get there about an hour early to get into the show. So that was really, really exciting. It's going to be amazing. Yes, Natalie, so when you were in Disney World in November, you didn't need to purchase any multi-pass because the max wait time was 30 minutes, which is absolutely incredible. That's so, so good. And it's really, really nice when the wait times are super low because you're like, don't need to purchase it. Perfect. But if you're going to be visiting in the busier months, multi-pass, even if it's just like 1 or 2 days, I think can make such a difference because it's no fun waiting like an hour in one queue, you know, an hour and a half in another, 40 minutes in the next, because you just feel like all day you're just stood on the spot, which is no fun. So Kevin's asked, is the Mickey's Not So Scary fireworks as good as Happily Ever After? And I would say it's different because it's all Halloween themed. So like for me, Happily Ever After is like the best fireworks Disney have ever done in any park. Absolutely obsessed with it. Love it every single time I see it. The Halloween ones are great because they are all like villain and spooky themed, and they're very, very different. They're very unique. I wouldn't say it's as good as Happily Ever After, but I think that's because Happily Ever After, obviously you have like a big storyline, and you've got music from all different films, and they've just really made it to like pull on the heartstrings, and like it's just really, really, really well done. Whereas the Halloween one is super, super fun. You get the kind of spooky, fun bits. Then you have the more like villainy, scary bits. So it's definitely worth going to see. And I do love it. The thing I would say, if you're an adult visiting, I always tend to go to the later showings of the parade and the Hocus Pocus show. The fireworks are just once a night, but what tends to happen is families with little kids will go to the earlier parade and Hocus Pocus show, and then after the fireworks leave, and it gets a bit quieter, and then you get easier spots to see the other shows because they're just quieter, so it makes sense. Hi Jill, lovely for you to join us. Thank you so, so much. This is a great question. Any advice for Halloween Horror Nights first timers? So something I would say, and I know it is expensive, but the Express Pass is worth its weight in gold, just because the queue times otherwise are kind of all over an hour. And where there's 10 houses, it's just not possible to do them all in one day. However, with the Express Pass, you'll be able to do them all within a few minutes. It's only like a 5-10 minute wait to get into the houses. And I do think it's worth its weight in gold because you just fit so much in. If you didn't want to do that, another good option is the Scream Early Pass. So that's about £40. You can enter the park a few hours early. So that's kind of good if there's any rides you want to go to. And you can kind of go on them if you're not going to Universal in the day. If you already have tickets for Universal in the day, you can already go in. You don't have to get the Scream early. You could just go in at any time. So you might want to do like the parks in the morning, have a little break, and then go back about 4 or 5 o'clock. What you can then do is hang out in certain zones so that you know you will be some of the first people that go into the houses. Because what happens is the event starts at 6 p.m, but the queues to get into Halloween Horror Nights for people who've just got the base ticket opens at 6 p.m, and then they've got to scan in and blah, blah, blah. So it takes a while for those people to get to the houses. So if you have Scream early or you're already in the park with your day ticket, you can go into the houses as they open at 6. So you can kind of get ahead, and people start queuing from about 5 o'clock for the houses in the different scare zones. I would say if you've got Express Pass, you don't need to worry about that because you're going to be getting in to the houses really, really quick, so you don't need to kind of be queuing from 5. You can relax, get some drinks, just wander around, soak up the atmosphere, and then at 6 o'clock start using your Express Pass, which is super, super handy. And I would say, just the nature of Universal, where it's kind of like a circle around a lake, you will find you'll either go clockwise or anti-clockwise, and that's just the order you're going to end up doing the houses in, because thinking like, oh, I might want to go in this person's house first, and then I'll go to that one. Like, it's so much walking around, it's so much wasted time. So you will just decide whether you're going to go clockwise or anti-clockwise, and then you will just go one by one to the houses. But I absolutely loved Halloween Horror Nights. I think it's super, super fun. Something I really like is that in some of the houses, you would kind of be the target, so you would be the person who's getting the scares. And in other houses, it would be kind of like the person, one or two people in front of you. And it gives you a different experience, which I think is really interesting, because when you're the person, or at least when I was the person that was kind of getting the scares, I was fighting for my life. So I was just so in the moment. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. Whereas when it's happening to other people, you take in the storyline more, which is really fun. But this year, there's some really great rumours about the houses that are going to be coming to Halloween Horror Nights. It's almost certain that Terrifier is going to be coming. Terrifier is some of my favourite horror films. Art the Clown is going to be iconic at Halloween Horror Nights. There's been loads of talk about there might be a WWE house, which is going to be really interesting. They keep flip-flopping between... They think there's going to be some sort of musical... Like, before they've had, like, The Weeknd and stuff. But they think there's going to be another house based on a music artist, but people don't know exactly what it is. There was talks about, like, Five Nights at Freddy's. I've seen a few different films, so I think it's going to be such a good year. It's going to be so much more fun. Yes, Natalie, you do Magic Kingdom after hours for enchantment, which is so good. And that is something that's really nice. If you do these after hour events, not only are parks quieter, but if you go to Magic Kingdom specifically, you can see the normal fireworks show, Happily Ever After. And then if you go to the after hours event, they do Enchantment, which was the 50th anniversary specific show. So you get to see 2 different fireworks shows in one night, which I think is so much fun. So, Jill, the express pass for Halloween Horror Nights, I'm trying to think. I think my express pass was about $120. And I think my entry ticket was £68. So it is much more expensive than the entry ticket, but it made such a difference. And like, we just would have only got a handful of houses done. And it's not just the fact that you don't get houses done, it's the fact that you spend nearly all of your night in a queue. And I think that really impacts your enjoyment, because we literally would go to a house, wait 5-10 minutes to get in, have all of the scares, it'd be super, super exciting, march on to the next one, do that, then we'd go into a scare zone, get to interact with all of the actors, we'd go and get a snack or a drink, and it was just such a pleasant evening. Whereas I know for me at least, if I was like, right, I'm getting into a queue, and I stand there for 70 minutes, and then I'm in the house, have a great time, and then, oh, I've got to go and do a 60-minute queue. It's not just that it kind of, you don't get to do as much, it's the fact that you're just stood in queues for most of the night. So I definitely do think the express pass is so worth its weight in gold. And like I say, if you could consider the prices to Halloween Horror Nights with express, it can be kind of similar to Mickey's Not So Scary. So I always just think of it like that. That's the way to do it. Hi Julia! Thank you so much for joining us. It's so, so lovely to see you. You've asked, what do you think the new Abu Dhabi resort will be like? I don't know. I think, from what we've seen, I think it's going to be a very different Disney park. They have talked about the fact that because of the heat there, it's going to be all indoors, which is very common for the theme parks already out there. The castle looks very, very different. We know that there's probably going to be a difference in like characters, because some of their costumes would need to be modified. There's a talk about what will happen with the entertainment. Will it happen? Will it not happen? So it'll be really, really interesting to see what goes ahead. Obviously, there's been a lot of controversy over them opening a park there, and it's a difficult subject. It's a difficult subject. It's been interesting hearing lots and lots of different people's opinions about it. I just think it's interesting for Disney to kind of, on the one hand, be very much like, we're going to go to war with Ron DeSantis over Don't Say Gay, we're going to have Pride nights, we're going to do all of this, and then open a park where gay people aren't going to really be able to visit. And I don't know, I just think it's a very, very interesting decision, and it'll be really interesting to see how it goes. I think it will be very different to other Disney parks. It's probably not somewhere I will visit. It's not kind of on my radar of somewhere I probably would be comfortable going. But yeah, I do think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens and how the conversation also develops, and what Disney kind of if they address the kind of topics people have been bringing up, or if they just kind of don't talk about it. Because obviously they're not actually going to own it, which I think is probably because they're like, I mean, it's a great deal for them, isn't it? They're going to get loads of money and they're not going to have to do anything. They're not physically paying out for the building, anything like that. So it's a good deal for them. But there are topics they do need to kind of address. So will they? Won't they? Who knows? So I think that'll be really interesting. Oh, Sinead, this is a great question. If money was no object, what would be the Disney hotel you would pick? And what tour? Oh my god, this is amazing. Oh, Disney hotel, that's so hard. Because, oh, well, actually, if someone said you could go anywhere, like it's free, you could pick anyone. I think I would really love. There's two in Disney World. Either the villas at Polynesian, where you are like on the water, or the same at Wilderness Lodge, the cabins. They just look so nice, and the fact that you kind of be out on the balcony in the hot tub watching the fireworks happen. They just look so peaceful, so relaxing, so lovely. And it's just so nice that they kind of have, they're not like your traditional hotel room where you do have a bit more space. You've got a lounge, multiple bedrooms, a kitchen. Not that I'm going to use a kitchen. If I'm there, I'm getting someone else to cook for me. There's no way on earth I'm cooking. But it's just nice to have that like living room kind of set up. But what a dream. But there's so many great Disney hotels. And I think this is the thing, isn't it? Like, it's like, how do we choose where to stay? Because it's so many great things. So I also really loved the Grand Californian in Disneyland. That was really stunning, really beautiful. And where I was there in November, it also felt perfect because of the time of year, and kind of like that lodge feel was perfect. But then also like Toy Story Hotel over in Tokyo looks next level. What hotel theme would you like to see? Because we know they're obviously building more. There's the talk about the Disneyland Paris hotel that should be coming in the next kind of 10 or so years. What theme might that be? We know we're kind of getting that nature resort again at Disney World, which used to be on Discovery. You know Discovery Island? Is anyone old enough to remember Discovery Island? Not just me. Where they used to have like animals, and you used to get a boat out there. They're gonna have a hotel there now. And there was talk about it a while ago that it was going to be a nature-themed hotel. It was going to be Princess and the Frog themed. And then it kind of quietly went away because of the pandemic. And now it's kind of come back. They're not talking about Princess and the Frog anymore, but they're still saying it's a nature-themed resort. So that's going to be great. But if you could have I mean, I would love a villains-themed hotel. I would love a Tower of Terror hotel. I would love if we actually had the hotel, which I think would be iconic. Like, and actually having, like, the bellhops be spooky in the hotel and stuff like that, and all of the staff be spooky. Although, is that too much to ask when they're already doing their actual job to have to also be kind of acting? But I think that would be iconic. It was so good. Yes, Jill, if Halloween Horror Nights is a one-off, then I definitely think the Express Pass is totally worthwhile. And yeah, it's the thing that I was very hesitant about because I was thinking, oh god, it's a lot of money. But I was like, same. It's going to be like, it's my only night I'm going to be able to do it during the trip. Let's do it. And I'm so glad. It's the one thing that I'm like, I would do it every single time because it was so worth its weight in gold. Oh, let's have a little look. If you're using Express Pass, it would free up your time to do other things. Oh, we did the Keys to the Kingdom tour. It's so interesting seeing the utility doors. I loved the Keys to the Kingdom tour. I'm obsessed with it. And getting to kind of, like you say, go to the utility doors, iconic. Getting to hit all of these backstage things is absolutely amazing. And I had the most amazing guide, and because she had personal history with Walt Disney, so getting to tell her story and her family story with Walt made the trip so special, and I was so lucky to have her. So I absolutely loved that. I also loved doing Walt's Main Street tour in Disneyland and getting to go inside his apartment, which was awesome. Do you know what tour I'd really like to do? And they haven't brought it back in Disney World yet, but they've just brought it back in Disneyland. It's the train tour, and I know that sounds boring. But years ago, I wrote an article all about Walt Disney and his love of trains, and how like his first ever job had been on a train, and you know he had the little miniature train sets that he'd built in his garden, and then the Disneyland trains were full-scale versions of those ones he'd built, and it got me so interested in the train. And you can kind of do this backstage tour where you kind of learn more about it. You get to go to the wheelhouse where they do all the maintenance, they kind of turn them around and all stuff like that. And it just sounds so interesting. And also, if you're in Disneyland, you don't have to do the train tour, but certain because I think there's 4 trains in Disneyland, and one of them has Walt Disney's actual carriage. And if you happen to be there for that train, you can ask to go in, and it's a really different layout because it's like all lush. You've got like proper seats and like sofas. So I think that would be a really special experience to do, and that's just anyone could do that. You just have to be lucky and request it. So I think that would be so much fun. Yes, Natalie, that's such a good point. Hopefully Disney will reinvest all the money from Abu Dhabi into the other parks. And yeah, I think that's the thing. I think people are really looking for a 5th gate in Disney World. So maybe that will be something that happens. There's obviously there's always been that talk about there needing to be a 3rd gate in Disneyland Paris, because that is one of the agreements with the French government, that they will be building a 3rd gate. It keeps getting pushed back and back and back and back and back, and there's kind of no talk about it at the moment, but it is a requirement. So hopefully there will be some money coming in from that. Hi Mark, lovely to see you. How are you doing? Mark always sends me these iconic videos, and he has the most amazing whole menagerie of animals living with him. They're going amazing adventures. I absolutely love it. So thank you so much. But you're planning to do the Halloween to Christmas crossover in 2026 and splitting the stay 8 nights at Disney, then moving to Universal for 6. I think this is such a dream, because getting to do Halloween and Christmas in the same trip is perfect, and it's very, very doable, because in the US, they literally will go overnight from one to the other. Whereas Disneyland Paris, there's typically like 5 days or so, maybe even a week between them. So you might see the tail end of one and then setting up for the next one. But you don't typically, because of the length of your trips, get to fully experience both. Whereas in the US, you absolutely can do that, which is so exciting. And that's going to be great. Like 8 nights at Disney, 6 at Universal is such a great split. Like, that's going to be so exciting. Do you know which hotels you're thinking of staying in? Because I always love to know where people are staying. And again, I think both Disney and Universal, there's no real bad hotels. Whichever ones you pick, you're going to have a great experience. So I think it just comes down to theming, budget, maybe proximity to the parks. I genuinely don't think, same Disneyland Paris, don't think there's a bad hotel that you can get in Disneyland Paris. They're all really, really good. The only place I would be like, I don't think you have to stay on site is Disneyland, because where the parks are surrounded by hotels, you can get hotels that are much cheaper, and in fact a quicker walk to Disneyland than the Disney hotels, which is wild. It's so interesting. Natalie said, I should organise a Walt Disney World trip for a group of 20 and be the guide. I think a lot of officers would sign up. Can you imagine a group trip? I think that would be so much fun. And I have seen, like, people will do, like, group trips to Disneyland Paris and stuff like that, where obviously they'll be like, these are the dates that the trip is going to happen, and then people can stay as long or as short as they would like. They could choose which hotel they want to stay in, if how many meetups they want to do. Like, they don't have to do everything with everyone all day. And I think it could be really, really fun to kind of be like, these are the dates, let's like make it happen, and if we're there we can all meet up and do things, because it would be so much fun. And I was so lucky when I went to Disney World to do the meetup. I just had the absolute best time. And like, now we are all good friends that still chat and meet up. In fact, Sarah, who was from Germany, is coming over to London this July to come to the meetup, which is going to be absolutely incredible. In November, I'm meeting up with Lisa and Peter, who are also part of the meetup in Disneyland Paris. So it's so nice that you get to kind of make friends, and you know, we're still getting to do things together now, which is going to be fantastic. So I think that would be so much fun. Oh, Mark said, hoping to get the last Mickey's Not So Scary party and then the first Christmas party. How much fun as well to get kind of to do the last and the first. I think it's going to be so good. And they're so different from each other, which obviously they are, because Halloween and Christmas are very different. But I do really like that it doesn't feel like you're just doing a repeat with a different theme. It does feel really, really distinctly different, which I think is going to be so much fun. Yes, you would like the Tower of Terror themed hotel as well. Need the bellhop from the ads. Yes, I think so many people would love it. I genuinely think it would be absolutely incredible. I think it'd be so, so good. And this is the thing, the one thing I am really sad about is never having been to the Galactic Star Cruiser, because I would have loved that experience. And I think the problem was the price was so expensive that the people that really wanted to do it couldn't afford it. And the people who could afford the hotel didn't want to have to visit the way you visited, where you literally stayed in the hotel for kind of 3 days. There was lots of interaction and you kind of acting along. And because everyone I talked to that isn't like a big Disney person, they were like, why would I pay to go to Disney World and then not go in the parks? Just stay in a hotel for 3 days. And I think that's something they hadn't considered, that the typical person visiting Disney wouldn't want to do that. And like the super die-hard fans who want to do kind of like the LARPing almost can't afford the $5,000 price tag. And the people that can afford that don't necessarily want to be dressing up and interacting and staying in the hotel. So I'm so sad that it shut, because I do just think it looked incredible. But I wish they'd kind of gone, okay, maybe we don't need to do all of the interaction. We don't need, but they could have kept the hotel as a Star Wars themed hotel. But now it is the Officers of the Imagineering department, so at least it's being used. But I wish I'd got to experience that, because it looked so, so good. It was so much fun. But I will answer some more of the questions, because we've got some really, really good questions. And this is from Jonathan, and I think this is a great question, because this is something that I also do. And he says, when we go, we end up falling into the cola trap. What are the best spots for unique refreshments in Disneyland Paris? And I think this is the difficulty, because in Disneyland Paris, you will have, in the quick service restaurants and the shops, you will find the same drinks over and over again. And it typically is fizzy drinks. So you're like, I'm drinking a lot of cola products. They will occasionally have things like fused tea or Tropico, I think that's what it's called, if you're looking for still drinks. However, the only places I find that you can kind of get unique drinks are more like the bars. So if you go to, say, the Art of Marvel Hotel and you go to the Skyline Bar or the Royal Pub in Disney Village, they are where you can get your unique drinks, but they come with a price tag. The bars in Disneyland Paris are very expensive, and the closer you are to the park, so like obviously the Disneyland Hotel, most expensive drinks, Art of Marvel Hotel, expensive. When you get to like Santa Fe, they are more affordable. But really, the only people that are probably going to those bars are the ones staying there. Otherwise, it's a bit of a trek to get there, and the theming isn't as fun as like the Marvel Hotel. But what I do to get around this, I go to my trusty relay shop. And what I look in relays, because they have a lot of different drinks on offer. If you're looking for fizzy drinks, you can find that. But if you're wanting still drinks that are flavoured, or flavoured waters, juices, things like that, they have a wide range, and it's much cheaper than in the parks. So that is the way I get around the cola trap. Because it's definitely a thing. I also find this in Disney World, because I was someone that never, ever, ever drank fizzy drinks. And then when I was in Disney World in 2018, I think it was, we had the refillable mug as part of the offer. And then obviously with some of the meals, you get a drink included as well. And again, it's typically like sodas. And so drinking a lot of soda that I never drank. And now, love soda. And it's almost like addictive. I genuinely think it's addictive. And like when I come back from the US, I kind of have to wean myself off of it. Because I'm like, oh, I could just do with a fizzy drink right now. But yeah, there are some places, and some of the table service restaurants at Disneyland Paris as well will do unique drinks. So I like in Waltz that you can get things like a Shirley Temple and stuff like that. But again, the specialty drinks are very pricey. And something I've never understood about Disneyland Paris, I don't know if you find this, the mocktails and cocktails are almost the same price. There's like a few euros difference, even though one is fruit juice and the other contains alcohol. And I think it's really shocking that mocktails cost basically the same amount as cocktails. So you kind of get penalised if you don't drink, because you're going to spend a lot of money on mocktails. So I just go to the relay shop and I stock up. I try also the drinks that you can't get in the UK, because that's always exciting. And it makes me feel like I'm on holiday, even though I've just gone to basically a corner shop. But that is the way to get around the cola trap, I find. Oh, this is great. Mark, you're planning to do the boardwalk as you normally do the Swan or Dolphin, and the location is amazing, and it's great. You get the same benefits as being at a deluxe Disney hotel, but it's a much more affordable hotel, which I think is great. But you want to be making the most of the free dining. Boardwalk Pizza Window is fabulous. That's so exciting to hear, because I've never been there, and it's always that thing. It's always nice to hear places other people recommend, because there's obviously places I've never been, and I always love to know, like, oh, this could be a good place to stop off. Yeah, I just think hearing from other people is the best, because, you know, we all know that you can't really trust everything you hear, but when you know people and you're like, okay, they recommend this, that's good, I'm going. That is the one. Portofino Hotel at Universal will be amazing to stay at. And like you say, the great thing, if you stay at the deluxe resorts at Universal, you get the express pass, and you get it for each day of your stay. So if you stay one night, you will get 2 days of express pass for every person staying in the room. So they are incredible offers. It's so worth doing if you're going to Universal, even if you just do one night, to get 2 days of express pass. It's absolutely perfect. And yeah, I think that's such a top tip. Like, I absolutely love that. It's so good. But yeah, I thought I would hop back to Disneyland Paris. We've got another question, which is, have I booked my next Disneyland Paris trip? And I have, which is very exciting. So I have 2 more Disneyland Paris trips this year. I'm going the very end of September into the beginning of October, so that I can see the Halloween season. Halloween is starting the 1st of October in Disneyland Paris. What's really interesting is Disneyland Paris's version is all free. It's not, there's no like evening party. They did used to do it at Halloween itself, and maybe one extra night before on a weekend. Haven't had that for a few years. But the rest of the Halloween stuff is included in the ticket price. So you get the Halloween parade, all of those things, characters and costumes, which is so fun. I'm also going to be staying at the Art of Marvel Hotel, which I've never stayed in before. I visit it basically every time I go to Disneyland Paris, but I've never stayed there. So I'm very excited about that. And then I'm also going in November for the Christmas season. Christmas is my favourite time of year in Disneyland Paris. It's beautiful. It's so stunning. Sorry, there's a cat here. It's the most Christmassy place on earth. Like, it's just beautiful. And so I'm so excited to do that as well. And I do love that the Disney parks throughout the year have these different events, different seasons. So when you visit in different times, you do get different experiences, and they're all amazing. Which is so good. Hi, Lauren! It's so lovely. Oh my god, I love we're going at the same time of year. That's so exciting. And if we're there at the exact same time, then if you see me, please do come say hello, because it's always so nice to meet people in the flesh and get to have a chat and hang out. Like, it's so good. But yes, it's so fun. Yes, Jill, you've said Tower of Terror Hotel would be so popular. I totally agree. I think so many people would be into it. And like, just because also it's a great mix of that old Hollywood feel that people really love, like that Art Deco decor, I think would be amazing. But also, you know, like the lobby would be a bit spooky. They'd be able to have like amazing themed bars and restaurants. Like, I just think everything about it could be next level amazing. And I'm like, please do it. But I don't know if they would find it kind of being a spooky hotel too, like, niche. I'm wondering if, but after the Galactic Star Cruiser, they're more cautious now. Because the thing I do find, and there is a shame about Disney World, is they are taking the Disney theming away from their hotels. Whereas I'm like, more theming, not less, more. Absolutely tons more. Do you know what else I would love? Muppets themed hotel. Love the Muppets. I feel like Disney don't do enough with the Muppets. I think people would love more Muppets. And like, if you could have like a dinner show at the hotel with the Muppets, can you imagine how amazing that would be? It'd be so good. So yeah, I think there's so much scope for what they could do. But I'm so into them using the Muppets for more things. As we all know, I'm not a big fan of the live action remakes, but if they started doing Muppet versions, I'd be 1,000,000% into that. If they did like Beauty and the Beast Muppet version, absolutely incredible. But the live action one, awful, hated it, never going to see it again. Muppets, amazing. And the great thing is, the second you start thinking about Muppet versions of things, you immediately in your head start thinking which characters are going to play who in each film. And I think it would be wonderful. So I hope Disney do more with the Muppets, because we all love them. Yes, Louise, you're so right. I am so lucky to be going so many times this year. And what I always do is each month I put money aside, and I put it into a savings account. And then every May it matures, so then I know that I've got a lump sum that I can put towards trips. And then what I also do is for Christmas and my birthday, I'm like, don't buy me anything. Just give me whatever cash value you were going to spend. Give me the cash, and then I put that towards trips. And then kind of at the beginning of the year, I can go, right, I've got this amount of money to divvy up. And I'm lucky because where I can travel in the off seasons, you definitely get the better rates, because that's one of the reasons I hadn't stayed at our Marble Hotel before. Is it obviously is one of the more expensive ones, but what's nice about the Disneyland Paris hotel, the Disneyland Paris website, is at the bottom of the homepage you have the calendar, so you can see every single date of the year and the pricing. So I just looked like, what is the cheapest date of the year to stay at the Art of Marble Hotel? And I was like, okay, that's what we're going to book. So that's a top tip. I find that super, super helpful. If you do have flexibility, or even if you don't, you can still see the cheapest dates within the period you can visit. And that could be really, really helpful to kind of like keep the costs down a bit, rather than kind of plucking a date out of the air and just booking and hoping for the best. So I do really love that feature on the website. And you can change the hotel, you can change the number of dates, the number of people, and it just will let you know, which I think is fantastic. Yes, the Villains Land. I'm so excited for this. Like, I was hoping they'd do a full Villains Park, but we'll take anything. And I just think it looks incredible. Like, the actual theme of it looks fantastic. I love the fact that it's in Magic Kingdom, because I'm hoping that means in the future, obviously it's going to be incorporated into Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which will be wonderful. I can't wait to see what's going to be in there, like when it comes to the shops, the dining, snacks, what the rides are going to be. I just think it's going to be so, so cool. And yeah, I just think we need it immediately. It's so hard waiting for these things, isn't it? Because when they announce them, we're just like, this is so exciting. And I'm like, okay, I'll just have to wait. I'll wait a few years, I'll be patient. But I think it's going to be such a wonderful addition. Jill, you've said the Muppet stage show rotating different shows would be hysterical. Can you imagine? That would be so good. Something that's really interesting, because something else we're going to talk about is Disneyland and what's happening there this summer. And one of the things is, of course, you've got the 70th anniversary celebrations, which look amazing. And one of the things they're doing is they have got a brand new World of Colour show called Happiness. So World of Colour is over in California Adventure. It's the one that's in front of Mickey's Terror Wheel. That awful, dreadful, most scariest ride in any Disney park ever. And World of Colour is such a unique and amazing show, but they've got a brand new version for the 70th anniversary, and they have a whole Muppet section during it, which I've seen like a sneak peek of, and it looks so amazing. It looks so good. So I am glad that they are realising we want more Muppets. And that's really, really cool. But when we're talking about Disneyland, we might as well talk about all the other things that are happening. So Paint the Night, which was mentioned earlier, has come back. That is the amazing nighttime parade. So, of course, Magic Kingdom are getting their own brand new nighttime parade. But Paint the Night was one that's always been super, super popular. And they've brought it back for the 70th anniversary celebrations. They've also brought back Wondrous Journeys, which was a projection and fireworks show, which was super popular. What's interesting is in Disneyland, I think the projections are going to happen every night, but the fireworks don't happen every night. So that is something that happens all the time in Disneyland. The fireworks in peak season will be every night. Otherwise, it's like maybe weekends. So do be aware of that if you're visiting Disneyland. That sometimes the fireworks aren't every night. But I think the projections will be every single night. Plus, if you're used to Tinkerbell, you're getting a very special guest in the Disneyland version, which looks absolutely incredible. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but it's very, very different and it looks so much fun. There's also going to be, it's called Tapestry of Happiness, and it's a projection show on It's a Small World. And I absolutely loved, when I went there for the Christmas season, having It's a Small World all lit up. It was beautiful. But this is like a proper projection show, and it incorporates kind of like the history of Disneyland and different rides and stuff that's happened in Disneyland over the 70 years, which looks absolutely amazing. There's also a parade called Better Together, which is a Pixar celebration over in DCA, which looks super, super fun. There's going to be a character cavalcade, which looks great, because obviously you've got your characters in their 70th anniversary costumes, but you're getting rare characters. So Duffy and Shirley May are going to be making an appearance, which we never ever see. It was also last year in Jollywood Nights over in Hollywood Studios at their Christmas party. Duffy made an appearance, which is unheard of. So I'm glad we're starting to see Duffy in other parks because he has become an icon. And it's so exciting because they are so rare to see still. But they're going to have that. There's also a brand new tour. So you can do a 2-hour guided tour, which is all about Disneyland and everything that's happened over the past 70 years, which I think looks really, really nice. And I love the tours. Like, if you love the Disney parks, they just give you such a different insight into the parks, the history. And I think that's going to be amazing. And the thing that I'm most excited for, although it's not opened yet, it's coming 17th of July, is this Walt Disney animatronic. So there's going to be a brand new show called Walt Disney and Magical Life. It's going to be where currently Mr. Lincoln is. It's Walt in his office. They've got a full animatronic of him kind of talking all about his life. Immediately, no, it's going to make everyone cry. It's going to be absolutely incredible. So that looks like it's going to be really, really special. And it totally makes sense, particularly because, you know, Walt Disney was such a pioneer with animatronics. To kind of have him as an animatronic, I think it's going to be absolutely incredible in his park. It's going to be so good. So there's so much going on. There's also a brand new theme song called Celebrate Happy by the Jonas Brothers, which you can listen to on Spotify. So I do love that there's so much going on in Disneyland. And I think more and more people are getting interested in visiting Disneyland. And I totally always recommend it because to me it's the best combination of Disney World and Disneyland Paris because it's got the nice smaller size and the walkability of Disneyland Paris, but then it has kind of the American customer service, the kind of level of merch, and then it also has, which you have at Disney World, and then it also has its uniqueness where you've got unique rides that are only there, you've got the history, you've got the roaming characters. Like, Disneyland is amazing, and if anyone has the opportunity to ever visit, I highly recommend it. And I think the 70th anniversary season is also an amazing time to visit. In fact, where is it? Is it behind me? I actually have an old map of I went to Disneyland for the 50th anniversary celebrations, which is horrifying. I think that was 20 years ago. That was my first ever trip to Disneyland. It was just for a day. But yeah, it's so exciting to kind of be able to look back. And I just love that when there's a celebration year, there's so much extra added into the parks. So I definitely think it's a great time. If you ever thought about going to Disneyland, if you could visit in the next year, you're going to have such a special experience, which is going to be so cool. Louise, you said, I love the calendar for Disneyland Paris. Also, booking the first day they become available, 100% that, because like you say, the prices are so much cheaper for those days. Like, I actually, for my 40th birthday, which is 2027, so still ages away, I want to go to the Disneyland Hotel. I was like, right, it's the one time in my life I'm probably going to stay there. So in my head, I've already decided it's happening. But what I'm doing is waiting for that opening period, which I think will be towards the end of this year. And like you say, if you can book on that first date, the prices are much lower than even the following day. So 100%. And Louise, you said you're a teacher, so you're restricted to the dates, but still get a great deal by booking early. And you can always cancel if we change our minds. And that is the thing. This is the thing I love the most about Disneyland Paris, is the fact that it's a super low deposit, but also you can cancel and get a full refund up to 7 days in advance of your trip. So it's always great when you see a good deal to book it. And then if your plans change, or you have to change dates, you can absolutely do it. But you're not having to miss out, which I think is really good. So that is such a top tip. Hi, Kids Sunny! It's so lovely to see you. How are you doing? Thank you so much for coming to the live stream. It's so fun. And yes, it's so fun to meet other Disney vegans. It's amazing because there's like quite a lot of Disney vegans, which is amazing. And it is great that the Disney parks are like adding more and more dishes, and they have like such interesting dishes now, which is so good. So always a pleasure to meet you. And yes, Berlin, you're saying you can't wait for the school year to be over so you can fully prepare for your summer birthday trip, which is going to be absolutely iconic. I love that you're doing a longer trip. It's going to be so much fun. And like you say, getting to combine a summer trip and a birthday trip. Brilliant. So yes, not too much longer. The school year is almost over. So you can do it, you can get there. Which is going to be awesome. Hi, Anne-Marie, how are you doing? It's lovely to see you. Hi, Drake, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, there's still so many more things to cover because Disneyland Paris, as we say, music festival season happening, absolutely incredible. World premiere is now open and it looks so good. I love that they have kept the old Hollywood theme, but they've just made it look so much more sleek, so much more updated. When I was there, it was opening the next day. So I didn't get to see inside. However, I did get to see the partner statue, which is now at the back end of world premiere. So actually kind of opposite the Tower of Terror. They've got the amazing mural behind it, and it's such a fantastic photo spot. And they've done it so well. Like, I absolutely love how it looks. So I can't wait to actually go inside. And I'm really interested to try the restaurant, because before, you know, Restaurant in Colise was not popular. It was not known for good food. And this one, it's the same food, it's burgers, but they do sound more interesting, more elevated. So I'm really excited to try that and see what they are like. And hopefully with the update, the kind of restaurant has been updated. So now it's not like the worst restaurant in Disneyland Paris. That would be super, super nice. And something I would say is it's really nice now that we're starting to see some of the end results of the construction. Because obviously we've had years and years and years of construction. And it's just felt like it's going on, but you're not seeing anything. But now we're starting to see things like in Disney Village, for example. The new redesigned shops are lovely. They are so sleek. They look so fantastic. And I'm like, oh, if this is a taster of what the whole renovation is going to be like, it's going to be fantastic once everything's finished. So, and the same with World Premiere, kind of seeing how nice that looks. It's like, oh, we're getting a taste of what it's going to be like. So I'm very, very excited to kind of see the whole renovations when they're finished, because it just looks so, so good. Yes, Belly, it's only 5 more weeks for you, which is so exciting. And yeah, I'm loving hearing everyone's countdowns, because it's the absolute best. So I'm loving that people are taking summer trips as well, because like we say, you get the nice weather. Also places like Disneyland Paris, you get the longer park hours. And again, because you get longer park hours, it means you can take those breaks. So if it is super hot and you need the afternoon break, you're not missing out, because the parks are open so late. And it's just so, so good. So that's another thing that's nice about summer. Longer days, which is fantastic. Oh, this is a great question, Lauren. Do you think the secret bar at the Marvel Hotel will reopen? And I really hope that it will, because I just think it was such a fantastic and fun thing to do. However, because it was tied to the release of... Was it a TV show? It wasn't a film, was it? It was a TV show. Or was it a film? It was tied to something that had come out. Marvel released so many things every year, I can't keep up. Although... have we all seen Thunderbolts? Because Thunderbolts was amazing. It was so, so good. But I would love it if they just did a secret bar. Because I don't think it has to necessarily be tied to a new release. They could just do it themed to something to do with Marvel. Because, yeah, people absolutely loved it. And I just think it was such a fun and cool thing. So I'd love it if they did it again. It would be so good. Oh, Berlin is 5 more weeks of school. And then 3 more weeks until you leave. But, you know, it's still only 8 weeks. But you could do 5 more weeks of school. It'd be fantastic. You're almost there. Oh, you said you go to Disneyland and they have a new vegan item at Bengal Barbecue and you're excited to try it if you get the chance. It's hard eating everything whilst trying to prioritise getting on rides. And that's the problem. And what a great problem to have is that now there's so many vegan options. It is hard to fit them all in. And that sounds fantastic that they've got a new option at Bengal Barbecue, because it's so nice when there's something new to try. And this is the thing, like Disneyland as well, guys. If you like food, the food in Disneyland is next level amazing. It's so good. But yeah, like you say, it's so hard to fit in all of the eating and all of the rides and the shows and the characters, and it's like there's so many things to do. And again, I think that's why we all love the Disney parks, because it's not like a traditional theme park where you kind of do rides and maybe food and that's it. You could go and not go on any rides and have an amazing day. You can go and do a mix of lots and lots of different things. Like, it's just amazing. Oh, Julie said no place to sit. Is this in the secret bar? Or is this just in general? Because actually, this is a point I would like to bring up. The Disney parks do need more seats. This is something I always find whenever I visit any Disney park. I'm like, oh, there's a distinct lack of seating around the parks. And I do think we need to have more. Because it's just like, you know, everyone's feet get tired. Everyone would think, oh, I'll get a little drink and a sit down. Not many places to sit down. I was thinking this when I was in Disneyland Paris. I was like, there needs to be more benches. But yes, Jill, the village is looking good. And the facades on the new shops look great. But also inside, like, they're just so sleek. And they're just such nice shops to shop in. Because everything is displayed beautifully. You've got loads of space to walk around. It feels luxurious. And I was absolutely loving it. I was so blown away. So I just think it's going to be like the fact that we know the whole of the Disney Village is being renovated, and if this is what it's going to be like, it's going to look so fantastic. It's going to be so, so good. This is such a good point. Why don't they have benches in the queues? Could you imagine how glorious that would be? It would be such a game changer to have benches in the queues, and it'd be so easy to do. Like, I'm like, we need to do that. They need to do it. But yes, the Animation Academy is fantastic, and I think it's really fun because it's the fact that you're drawing characters, and typically, even if you're someone like me that doesn't know really how to draw, the fact that you come out with something, you're like, actually, this looks pretty accurate, and you get a little fun souvenir to take home with you, is great, and it's a really good way to kind of sit down in the air conditioning, rest your feet, but doing something super fun and super Disney. And I think that's something they do really, really well that other theme parks you don't get. Because this is the thing, like, we always see the Universal and Disney debate, and I think the thing is they're both great. So I don't think you have to be like die hard one or the other. And a lot of people are talking about how Epic Universe is really highly themed. I've seen a few people go, "We've never seen any theme parks this themed before," and I'm like, Disney have been doing that since day dot. I think we can calm down. But what is interesting is a lot of the Imagineering department at Disney was let go in the pandemic, and a lot of them moved to Universal, which is why I think Epic Universe has that high level of theming now. But I think that's what always has made Disney distinct and different, is it is so highly themed and everything's so thought about. And you know, it's not just attractions that it's not just rides, they also have attractions like the Tiki Room or the Animation Academy. So you're doing things that are still distinctly Disney, but they don't have to be a ride, which I think they do so, so well. And I think other people are catching up and kind of replicating that, which is great. It's great for us because we just get more and more amazing things, which is so, so cool. Yes, we need to start emailing Disney about these benches. We need to start a petition. We need to start a campaign because it'd be so easy to do. And they don't have to be like full benches. It can just be like a little, you know, like at a bus stop where you get like those thin little ones. Anything for people's legs to rest would be iconic. Yes, you're so right. Like both are great, but Mickey Stole My Heart a long time ago. Universal is amazing. But yeah, and I think that's the thing. Like there's such a different vibe, and I feel like to me, like Universal, until they did the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, very much felt like a theme park, like Six Flags or Thorpe Park. It felt like a traditional theme park, so it's super fun, but it's very that. Whereas Disney, it is that immersion. And then when they did the Wizarding World, I was like, oh, they're starting to kind of want to do the same. But I still think it is different because the thing that Disney have done is obviously that's always been the plan from day dot, is to have everything highly themed but also everything really cohesive. So if that's stuff like when you're transitioning from one land to another, it's seamless the way they do it. Whereas in Universal, it's still very much like this is Marvel, this is like Dr. Seuss, this is Harry Potter. It's very distinct lands. It's not that cohesion. So yeah, I think there's always going to be audiences for both. But I'm the same. Like Disney, I just think it's unbelievable. And the thing that I love about Disney is the atmosphere, which I think you don't get anywhere else. Like that feeling of the Disney bubble, and just feeling cut off from, not cut off from the world like a bad thing, like we're in a cult or something. But the fact that you're not hearing the news and all of those things, and everything's joyful and optimistic, I just think that's amazing. So it's so, so good. Yes, Jill, Restaurant on Khalees didn't have enough seats. So yeah, really interesting to see how they're dealing with that. And I'm trying to think, because I've seen some like clips, and I can't remember seeing really the seating, because they did used to have the upstairs seating area, and I'm assuming they're going to do that because, like you said, they need lots of areas to sit. So that'll be interesting. And actually, this is something I found with Walt Disney Studios Park. Is which trip was? I think it was when I went in January. When we went to Walt Disney Studios Park, we were there for like a whole day, and it rained. And Walt Disney Studios Park has very few seats in general, and the seats that they do have are all outdoor. So like the Avengers Campus has a lot of walls that you can sit on, but they're all outdoors. So when it's pouring with rain and they're soaking wet and you don't want to be sat in the rain, there was literally nowhere to sit. And I was like, oh, this is a real problem. That they need indoor seating. And obviously at that time, the Studio One, which is now World Premiere, was shut. The Animation Academy That whole area was shut, so you couldn't go and sit down inside anywhere, and it was a big problem. So we had to keep going to Stark Factory, just buying drinks so we could sit down, because we were like, we're dying, we need to see. So yeah, they definitely need more of that. There's a lot of questions about what to do in the heat. I had a question from Chris, which is interesting, but actually I'm going to need all of your input, because this is a question that I don't really know the answer to. So Chris was asking, where are the best places to get ice cream? And this is difficult because obviously I don't eat ice cream. As a vegan, I'm going to only have the non-dairy stuff. So I know of the places that sell ice cream in the Disney parks, but I'm wondering if you have any recommendations for the best. So I know, like, places that I can eat that I really enjoy is in Disneyland and Disney World is Salt and Straw. Like, amazing ice cream, incredible, unique, different flavours. And they also have, like, their core staple flavours, and then they have rotating ones. It's just such a unique place. It's much more than just your typical ice cream place. They also have a lot of vegan options, which is great for someone like me. Also, they give you samples, and they're huge. So you can try as many samples as you want, but they don't give you like a tiny little bit. You get a lot. So it's so great. So I love Salt and Straw. I obviously love places that have Dole Whip. And I do like that you get lots of different types of Dole Whip now, because you can get the Dole Whip floats, you can get the swirls, the mixtures. I really liked when I was in Disneyland at Tropical Hideaway getting the Dole Whip that also had mango in it, and the chamoy, and the yakima. It had loads of different stuff. Is that how you pronounce it? It was so good though, and it was so refreshing in that heat. Oh my god, it's just delicious. Everyone talks about Artisan de Glace, or de Glace? Artisan de Glace in Epcot in the France Pavilion. It's supposed to be great. And then you can get stuff like the brioche, like ice cream, I want to say pies, but that's not what it is. It's like the brioche with the ice cream inside. I think they also do cookie ice cream sandwiches. Like, I've heard that that's supposed to be amazing, but I've never ever been there myself. So I need to know if that's very, very good. Disneyland Paris, they have the ice cream, I want to say concoctions, it's not called that. Ice cream creations, which is where you can get the magnums, but you can customize them. I think you can't totally customize them. I think there's like a few different ones you can try, but they're like an elevated magnum, which sounds amazing. Oh, this is a good point. Yeah, Lauren, I'm with you. Why does Disneyland Paris not make a bigger deal of the Aristocats? I totally agree, because it's like set in France. It would be absolutely perfect if you could meet them. How iconic. And it's interesting because they don't do a lot with things set in France. So of course we've got Remy now, which is fantastic, but it's always blown my mind that they didn't have a Beauty and the Beast land. And I know we've now got one in Tokyo, but I always thought Paris would have one, because Beauty and the Beast is one of their most popular films of all time. It's set in France. I don't know why we don't have that. Don't know why we don't have Aristocats. I love Hunchback of Notre Dame. They used to have Hunchback of Notre Dame more in Disneyland Paris. I don't know if they're swaying away from that because they're a bit nervous about it. And like, how do you have that story in modern day life? But there's so many cool things, and I'm like, we need more. We need more of it. Yes, I love that everyone likes Salt and Straw. Salt and Straw is so good. It's just so delicious. Hi, it's so lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us from Dartmoor. What a lovely place to... Are you living in Dartmoor, or are you visiting? But what a lovely, lovely place to be. So thank you so much for joining us. Yes, Mark, ice cream shop in the France Pavilion, which I think is Artisan de Glace. I'm going to say it that way and hope for the best. But I've heard it's supposed to be fantastic. And also recommended in Animal Kingdom and Annapurna ice cream truck, which is so great. It's so nice to be able to hear where you all recommend. Yes, this is such a good point. Salt and Straw do really interesting ice cream flavours, particularly when it's their seasonal specials. And Kid Sunny says they had a vegan sourdough and olive oil ice cream. And that's the thing, because they do have some that are kind of like more savoury. And I just think it's amazing. Like, it's so interesting what you can get there. Yes, Jill, you're so right. Even the upstairs seating at Restaurant on Khalees was limited, and if you couldn't get a seat, you'd have to go outside. And yeah, it's so true. They just need more seating, more bins, more Disney tables, aka bins. That would be fantastic. And yeah, they definitely need more, isn't it? Because it is such a shame when you've got food and you just can't find anywhere to sit. It's the worst. Kids Only says you want to visit the other Disney parks. The dream is to visit every Disney park, particularly Tokyo. Tokyo has the best Disney merch I've ever seen. It's unreal, isn't it? And that's the thing. It's also like much cheaper, which I think is a deadly combination, because I'm like, it's incredible and cheaper. I'm gonna need like 7 suitcases. Like, it just looks amazing. And yeah, Tokyo I just think looks like the most incredible park. And Disney Sea I think looks like the best Disney park. I just think it looks next level incredible. It's just so good. And I love hearing and seeing people when they go, because it's really nice to kind of see what all of the Asian Disney parks are like. Because obviously you visit them quite differently. So like booking and planning them is quite different. So if you go to Disneyland Paris or Disney World, Disneyland, but it's just great to see which hotels people love, which restaurants are great, the merchandise, the ride, they just look amazing. So yeah, it's the dream to visit them all. I think it'll be so good. But yes, Jill, Salt and Straw do quite a lot of vegan flavours, which is good. They will always have, there's like 2 or 3 that are always on their permanent menu, and then they normally have 1 or 2 on the seasonal one as well, so there's lots to choose from. And the portion sizes are really generous. So I'm always like, oh, I want to try like 2 flavours. So I get 2 scoops, and it's like a pint of ice cream. And then I'm like, this was an error. I can't eat a pint of ice cream. It's ridiculous. But I think they do split scoops, and I think that's where I've been going wrong. I should do a split scoop. So it's like 1 scoop, but half of each flavour. So going forward, that's what I'm going to try. But yes, I haven't been to Tokyo yet. I would absolutely love to go. The only thing holding me back is there's not really vegan options. As soon as there's enough vegan options, because even if there's only a handful of meals and you just rotate them throughout your trip, I would be like, I'm going. So once that happens, I'm going to go, because I'm just like, it looks so cool. Oh, so lovely you live in Dartmoor. How, like, what a great place to be living. It's just absolutely stunning. And yeah, especially it must be getting so nice now this time of year as well, where the sun's coming out, you can just go hang out. Like, how lovely. And yes, Jill, it'd be so great to have more French characters to meet. Because yeah, I just feel like Disneyland Paris are missing a trick, because there are quite a few Disney films set in France, and I'm like, we need to do more with it, because what if they had like a themed hotel around Disney animals? So you would have like the Aristocats, you could have Remy, you could have Pluto, you could have Jungle Book, you could have like Lion King. I would love an animal themed hotel. I mean, I suppose they are kind of like the Jungle Book and like the Aristocats are very different types of animals, but I would absolutely love to see that. I think it would be so much fun. And yeah, we need more animals that are Disney animals in the parks. And interesting, because there's always that debate, isn't there, that Pluto is Mickey's dog, and Goofy is his best friend, but Goofy can talk. But apparently Goofy isn't a dog. But what is Goofy then if he's not a dog? Does anyone know? Why does he have the same sort of appearance, kind of, as Pluto, but then he's not a dog? Who knows what's happening? If you know, do let us know. Because I do like, every now and then it comes up, doesn't it? Like, why is Pluto a pet but Goofy's a friend? And I know it's because one can talk, but I'm like, what's the difference apart from the clothing and the talking? It's so good. Oh, that's so interesting. You've heard that Tokyo has a completely vegan convenience store, and so many videos of vegan food in Japan, but not much in the actual parks. And that's the issue, because to get into Tokyo proper, it's about an hour. And I think that's the issue, because like you said, there's so many amazing vegan restaurants in Tokyo itself, that if you were right in the heart of Tokyo, you'd find it super easy to eat. But because the parks are so far away from it, it's not really realistic to travel that way every single day, like back and forth, which is such a shame. So I'm like, please, just add like 2 or 3 dishes that we can rotate, and we will be happy. It will be so good. That's a very good point. It's like Figaro and Pete. What's the difference? This is the thing. There's loads of confusing things happening at Disney, isn't there? Like, who are these people and what is going on with them? But this is the thing. This is the thing I always point out, because, like I said earlier, we've got this brand new adult-only bar in Epcot, which caused a lot of controversy, because some people were super excited that there's finally an adult-only venue. A lot of people were then annoyed, because they were like, everything at Disney should be for everyone. But there's something I love that people don't talk about enough, is that the OG, original, child-free, unmarried Disney couple are Mickey and Minnie. and their best friends, who are also child-free and unmarried, are Donald and Daisy. And their other best friend is single dad Goofy. And I don't think it was probably intentional, but there was obviously some thinking about kind of them not being married and not having kids. There was obviously some reason behind it, because we know, Mickey does have, Donald does have nephews. So we know that there are, like, Disney families. So I just think that's really, really interesting. But that's, whenever people are like, nah, it's not for adults, I'm like, who are the ultimate child-free couple? Mickey and Minnie. So I think it is if it's for adults. That's my justification. Mickey Mouse would want us to have an adult-only bar, because him and Minnie would go to it. 100%. That's what's happening. It's so true. They want to go hang out with Donald and Daisy, have a little adults night watching the fireworks. Fantastic. It was so good. But yeah, that's my justification. I'm like, look, I didn't make the rules up. I'm just telling you what happens. Let's see what else we've got written down. Also, now, I don't know if this was an accidental leak or not, but Disney briefly, for a few hours on the website for Disney World, had the dates for the Pirates of the Caribbean Tavern. We now know it's called the Beacon Barrel. Now, they've always said it's opening late 2025, but these dates were allowing you to book it from June. That got taken down very quickly, so I don't know if that's an error. Either that it was released and the information wasn't meant to be released, so we can book from June onwards, so it will be opening this summer, or if the actual information was also incorrect, so that it's not actually going to be open in the summer, it will be the end of the year like they'd always said. But that would be very interesting. And again, that's going to be a family-friendly bar. It's going to be very similar to Ogre's Cantina, where it's got a 2-drink maximum and a 45-minute time slot that you can be there. All pirate-themed. There's going to be lots of fun interaction. I think that looks so cool. And I'm glad, again, Disney are doing these things, because they're just another way for you to have a real fun time in the parks and it not be rides. And I think it's also clever for them because they're making a lot of money because people are ordering drinks and stuff. But it's a really nice way, because I think the thing that Disney is so important is that, and this is why I think Disney is so good as a theme park, is when you're visiting, you don't want to be in a queue all day. So when you can go to something like the Tiki Room, when you know you're basically going to walk in and then be able to sit down and enjoy a show, it's fantastic, because then you're not just going, I've gone from one ride to another, and I've been in a queue after a queue after a queue. It gives you that change of pace in the day, but also you do need times where you're not queuing for things, and you do need times where you can just relax. So I think having these bars is a really great idea, because people love the theme, they love the interaction. It's a great way to still be doing Disney things, but be relaxing. But Disney are also making money. So it's like a win for literally everyone. I think it's amazing. Yes, Anne-Marie, you'd love to go to Disneyland Tokyo, but the planning looks intimidating. And this is the thing, this is the other reason I would be super excited to go, because, like you say, the planning is so different from all the other Disney parks, and I get really excited by that, because I'm like, I have no idea what I'd be doing. I'd be learning all from scratch. I think it'd be super fun to kind of learn how do you plan it step by step. But like you say, it does look very intimidating compared to the others. It does not seem super straightforward. So I think that would be super interesting to kind of look into, like, just how do you book and how do you get the best out of everything, which would be so good. Yes, you're so right. Walt said Disney was for everyone. He absolutely wanted all the adults to love the parks. And I think that's what people forget, because there used to be, like, amusement parks before Disney, but the whole point was that kids would go on the rides and do everything, and parents would just sit down. And it was just all about the kids, whereas the whole point of Disney was it was for everyone. And I think that's the great thing, isn't it? And I, again, like, not to just be, like, sounding like a bitter, child-free millennial, but I'm like, not only are Mickey and Minnie child-free icons, who can go on all of the rides without height restriction? Who can go in the bars because I'm old enough? Who can go to the fine dining restaurants because I can behave? Like, there's a lot of things that are kind of clearly more, like, adult swayed. So I'm like, look, it's for everyone. And again, I think that's what's really good, is no matter what age you are, you're going to have an amazing time. And also, no matter what level of thrill or kind of what you're looking for, you will find. And that's what I think Disney do so well. And that is the one thing that I think is difficult about Universal. Like, if you've got very, very small kids, Universal doesn't have a lot of rides for them. Or perhaps if you're someone that doesn't love big coasters or simulators, there's not much for you to do. Whereas Disney have that perfect blend so that everyone can enjoy. Like, they literally designed it with everyone in mind, and they've done it so, so, so well. Yes! Yes, it'd be so, so good. And yeah, I think, yeah, the Asia parks look amazing. I think the dream would be to do all three of them in one trip. And just be able to like hop between all of them. But again, I think it takes clever planning because, like, for example, if you visit Shanghai, there is the 72-hour kind of like visa waiver type thing where you don't have to get a proper visa to visit China. But obviously, you can only be there for 72 hours. So you'd have to really plan that carefully and like your flights, etc., etc. So yeah, I think that would be super interesting just to see how you book it all. And like, is that worth doing? Is it worth actually getting the proper Chinese visa? Although it's one of those, like, for us, we have to go to London to do it, and you know the whole thing. So it's like a proper visa process. But what is the better option? Like, is the 72-hour thing feasible? Is it not? Like, I just think it is so interesting. And the annoying thing is, I've actually been to Hong Kong and Tokyo, but because I was only in each of those places for 3 days, didn't get to go to Disney. So I've got to go back. Got to go back because I'm so sad that I've been there and not been. It's just not acceptable. It's not acceptable. I'm trying to have a little look to see if we've got more things to write down. Well, I'm just very excited about Food and Wine coming back. Like, Food and Wine, I think it's interesting because obviously the other festivals in Epcot where you've got like Festival of the Arts or Flower and Garden, there feels like there's more to see there because obviously you've got the artwork or you've got the topiaries and stuff like that. Whereas Food and Wine is obviously focusing on eating, but it's just so good. It's just such one of my favourite days of every trip that I take when that festival's on is just eating all day, and it's glorious. I don't do any rides. I just know I'm gonna graze all day long as I work my way around the park. And it's just the best. It's the best. It's such a nice kind of like almost like a rest day, even though you are kind of walking and doing stuff. But because you're just relaxing, eating, drinking, move on, sit down, eat something else. Although again, that's when you notice we need more seating, because Food and Wine is a place where you're like, oh, there is definitely not enough seats, and they do have the standing tables. And I'm like, I'm glad there's somewhere to rest your food, but I'm like, I need to rest my feet. So if we could not just have standing tables, that would be amazing. Because I can't cope. I need more than just that. It's not working. Also, this is a tip. The tables that are outside are metal. And, you know, it should be obvious, but I didn't really clock it. They are roasting hot because they have been in the sun all day. So I put my food down and then I like leant my arms on the edge of the table and I was like, oh my god, it's so hot. And, you know, my brain should have been switched on. I was just so focused on food, drink, put them down, where are we going? I didn't think about the fact that the table's going to be roasting hot. So that is another issue. Just be careful of that because you can easily burn yourself. Yes, I'm so excited that you want to go to the Epcot Food and Wine Festival because it is just so much fun. And again, like if you're vegan, there's lots of options. I think last year there was something like 13 options or something, which was amazing. And each year they seem to do new ones or they add some extra ones. The one thing that I feel like everyone should get is the guava cake. It's such a hidden gem and it's one of the best things I've had at Disney World. It's so good. It's such a refreshing cake. And it's not too, I think it's about $5. It's quite a big portion. And I was just like, this is incredible. Like, everyone's going to love this. It's so, so, so good. So, everyone needs that. And yes, the Pirates Bar. I'm so excited. You're excited for it, Jill, because I think it just looks so much fun. And like, Pirates of the Caribbean is definitely one of the top rides in any Disney park. It's so beloved. The people also love the films. And the fact that it's kind of taking this long to do kind of anything specifically Pirates of the Caribbean themed is surprising. But it's going to be so awesome. And I just can't wait. I just think, like, we need more of these bars. And I'm like, I wonder what they could do. Because obviously we've got Ogre's Cantina. We've got this now. What could they do in Animal Kingdom? They have to do some sort of like... Well, I was going to say like Lion King theme. But they could do like a Pandora, like really immersive, Pandora themed bar. Maybe they could do an Indiana Jones themed bar when they open the new Latin America section. I'm trying to think what other bars they could have, because if we were over in Epcot, what could we have? Well, I suppose we do have Space 220, which is kind of similar. It's not, because you don't have the interaction with the characters, but that is an amazing themed bar. And I would always recommend the lounge over the restaurant, because the restaurant is the set menu and it's quite pricey, whereas the lounge, you can just go for a drink if you want, but anything that's on the menu, and they also have a lounge menu as well, you can order. So when I went, the lady had said, "Oh, do you want any of the food?" And there wasn't really vegan options. I was like, "Oh no, I'm vegan, it's fine." And she was like, "Oh, the carrot cake, which is iconic and on the restaurant menu," she's like, "You can order that and just have that on its own." And I was like, "Absolutely," and it's delicious. So that's really, really great to know that you can still get the restaurant items in the lounge, but you don't have to pay for the full set menu. You could just have one of the courses as well as their own menu, which is fantastic. So if you're, that's kind of the highly themed one at the moment. But yeah, I think there's loads of cool bars they could do. So maybe this is the future going forward. If they have a villains one in the villains land, I might explode, because that would be amazing. I think we would love that. But yeah, this is the thing. I think this summer is going to be a really great time to be visiting the Disney parks, because, as I say, there is a lot of construction going on, particularly in Disneyland Paris and even Disney World now. But there's still loads of new things happening, and I think the next couple of years are going to be just so exciting, because you're going to get more and more new things every single year, which is just wild. So I think it's going to be an incredible 5-6 years. But I do like that even when there's construction happening, they're still bringing new things. It's not like the parks come to a complete standstill until the construction ends. They are still bringing lots of new things for us to experience. And like I say, Disneyland Paris, this music festival season, next level, amazing. The 70th anniversary celebration in Disneyland look awesome. Loads of new things coming to Disney World when it comes to the new nighttime parade, the Space 220, not Space 220, Spaceship Earth bar. There's just loads of things going on. Test track, I'm hoping that's going to open in the summer. So I just think that's something that they're doing really, really, really well. But yes, a villains bar would be incredible. Donna, hi Donna, it's lovely to see you. You'd have a haunted mansion one, like on the cruise line. That would be amazing. And can you imagine how many special effects and tricks they could have in there? That would be so awesome. I would love that. Yes, Jill, you're so right. The gardens near Walt's statue look lovely, and that's something I really enjoyed, because that part of Epcot now has a lot of places just to sit and relax. And where it's got quite a few trees as well, you can also sit in the shade, which is lovely. And it's really, really handy. But the only downside I would say is there's not loads of places. So it's great to sit down, but there's not lots of the Food and Wine Festival is mostly in World Showcase, right? So there's a few places, like the, oh god, what's it called? The new, oh, why can't I think of the name? They've got the kind of new part in front of the Walt section where you can, there's one booth in Food and Wine, and there's a few seats in there. So if you can't fit in there, you can go outside and sit in these gardens. It's really, really nice. But I'm if in World Showcase we could add a few more seats, that would be amazing, because that's where most of the booths are. And again, all of the festivals, the booths are kind of in that area. But I am glad that they've added so much more seating. But I'm it's not a place that you necessarily need a seat. But it's good to rest your feet if you're just tired. Sometimes on my way out of the park, I would just sit there for a little bit so I could make it back to the car. Which is really, really, really good. Kid has said, I took my mum to Disneyland for her first time in September. She didn't seem to like it too much, although it ended up being the hottest weekend recorded in Disneyland. And yeah, I think that can make such a difference, can't it? Because when it is really, really hot in the Disney parks, it definitely does have an impact on people's enjoyment, because the heat impacts you in so many ways. Because not only does it kind of make you physically tired, but also you can get a bit dehydrated, and you just don't want to be hot all day. And it can make it difficult, because naturally it does have an impact on your enjoyment. So hopefully in the future she'll get to go back. Maybe it's not so hot and she'll have a different experience. Because yeah, it definitely does have an impact, and that's why I'm always like, particularly like Disneyland Paris, I will always prepare for a heat wave just in case. And hopefully it'll just be lovely weather. But I have been there in the summer before where there has been a heat wave, and you're like, oh, I'm glad I brought the fan. I've brought the extra things just so I'm a bit more comfortable because you can have these surprise heat waves out of nowhere, and you're like, this is a lot. It's a lot. But yes, I'm so glad that she did love pirates, and I think the Disneyland version of Pirates of the Caribbean is my favourite. It's so long, it's so detailed, like it's so cool. When I was on it, I was filming, and when I got home and I was editing it, it was over 15 minutes long, the ride, which is just absolutely incredible. And it's just, I loved it. It's such a cool version of the ride. Yes, Karen, you say Nomad's Lounge is your must do every visit. And I've never been. I've been to Tiffin's to eat, but never been to Nomad Lounge. And it looks such a nice place to go and just relax and unwind. And I think it's somewhere that's easily skipped over, but it looks so lovely. And yes, it's so right. I think everyone loves Pirates. In fact, that's such a good point. I don't think I've actually ever met anyone that didn't love Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, it is just such an iconic ride. And it's one of those rides as well that it's decades and decades and decades old, but it still looks amazing. And I don't know how they do it because it's just wild that this is so old as a ride, but it still looks incredible. I'm just like, it's so good. Yes, Jill, it'll be great that you're going to go try Nomad's Lounge. I definitely need to try it as well. Oh my god, yes, you live in Phoenix and you understand the heat. I can only imagine. It's wild, but at Disney it's not fun. And that's the thing, isn't it? Because in Disney, it's also that thing of you're walking so much more than day to day. You're on your feet so much more because when you're not walking, you're still standing in queues. It's crowded. So yeah, like Disney in the heat is much different than, like you say, when you're visiting somewhere else on holiday, or even if you live somewhere that's hot. It's just like, oh yeah, Disney is different and you have to be prepared. And like, people always kind of find it kind of funny, but I'm like, you do need to kind of train to go to Disney, which sounds ridiculous, but it's that thing of you're walking more than usual typically, and when you're not walking, you're standing, so your feet are being used non-stop for like 16 hours a day. The days are super long because you're getting up super early, going to bed super late, you're around a lot of people, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of stimulation. And I'm like, you kind of do have to prepare because your body's just like, this is a lot. A lot is happening to me. And then, like you say, if you then combine the heat on top, it's like, oh, what are we doing? What's happening here? But, because this is the thing I always say to people, if you said to someone, I'm thinking of going to Spain, I'm going to go for 2 weeks, we're going to walk 25,000 steps a day, it's going to be 40 degrees, we're going to be on our feet for 16 hours, do you want to come? Everyone would go, absolutely not. That sounds terrible. Disney, however, you're like, best day ever. But that's also why I think you need to train, because if you go in blind, it's very taxing on the body. But again, there's things you can do. So I've started buying, I've got these compression socks that I wear overnight, and it really helps your feet recover. So any of the kind of swelling on the soles of your feet from being on your feet all day completely gets rid of them. Your feet go completely back to normal, so you're fresh the next day. I've started wearing the silicone heel protectors to prevent blisters. That's worked a treat. So I've definitely had less problems with my feet using both of them. And just getting comfortable shoes that are right for your foot shape, that are already kind of comfortable and worn in, but not used too much, because once they've used too much, the structure can collapse a bit and they're not so supportive. So it's that fine balance. If you don't want brand new shoes, because that can be a nightmare, but you also don't want super worn in shoes because they're not as supportive. So it's like anything you do just to make your time more comfortable, like we say, like the fans, the UV umbrella, anything. And it's amazing how little things like the compression socks or drinking electrolytes will make such a difference in your experience, and just you have such better time for it, which is so true. Kevin says, as a solo traveller, Nomads is a must-do. The best patio. And when the carriage of flotillas come by, it's so fun. Oh, that's awesome that you can see that. That is amazing. And what a great place to just go and relax. And I think we're all going to need to go to Nomad Lounge now. It sounds so good. And yes, Spice Road is your favourite outdoor patio for a drink and a bite in. Epcot Spice Road Table has been on my list to visit for years, and I've never got round to it. And it just looks amazing because, like you say, the food looks great. I love that it's small plates. You can get kind of a mixture of different things. The drinks look really nice, and it's one of those restaurants that you don't have to get a table service reservation. You could just walk up. It feels like a hidden gem. It feels like not a lot of people go there, but it looks absolutely amazing. So that's so, so good. And yes, you've said you've talked about walking everywhere for 2 weeks ahead of your trip to prepare, which I totally think that's the thing. And I'm like, I always start doing that, particularly if I'm going to Disney World because it's such a long period of time to also be doing it. I will start training like months before, where it's just like let's go for daily walks and just get used to standing more. So like if I'm at home, I'll talk on the phone on while I'm standing up, or sometimes like work standing up, just so you're kind of getting used to being on your feet more. Particularly if you're used to doing like office-based work or working on a computer, which is I do a lot of computer-based work, and you're so used to being sat, and your body's just like, what's happening here? And your feet are just like, we don't get used nearly this much. So what are you doing? They just cannot cope. They need their little trainings, which is so so good. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. In Phoenix, it's been over 100 degrees weather, and the fact that it's May, so it's not even like the height of summer. That's crazy wild, isn't it? Like that's nuts. So I can only imagine in the heat and the height of summer how nuts it is. And that's oh, Jaffa's here. Do you want to say hello? No, come and say hello. Here he comes. Here is the little boy cat. Cameras and cats, they seem to know when the camera's on, don't you? Hello? You gonna say hello? He does not enjoy the hot weather, so they're liking it at the moment because they can go in the garden and it's nice and sunny, but it's not roasting hot. But when it's very, very hot inside, they're like, absolutely not, this is not the one. And I get super paranoid. I'm like, put the fan on. I do the trick where you put the cold water in front of a fan and that's supposed to make the air colder. Don't know if it works or not, but we do it. I bought those little like cooling mats. They've got like gel inside that keeps them cool. Will the cats sit on them? No, they won't. And it's that thing, you know, you're like, I'm trying to help you. And they're like, oh, sorry, don't do that, Chopper. Oh no. Sorry, he's rubbing his head against the corner of the laptop, which is what the phone is balanced on. So there's not an earthquake, it's just the cat has a very strong head. I'm holding on for dear life. Please don't knock it over, Japper. But yeah, I do like that cats are like, oh, this is for me, clearly. The centre stage got to be off the camera. Jaffa, can we stop doing that, please? You're going to make everyone feel seasick. You're very cute, but it's not great. Yes, Kevin, a Spice Road Table is fantastic. Please stop, Jaffa. For vegetarian and vegan bites. And I think that's a nice thing, isn't it? There's such a nice range of items. And like I said, because it's small plates, it's nice because you can kind of, if you can't choose, you're like, I'll just have a few and mix and match. And I'm really desperate to try the cauliflower, the like chili crispy cauliflower, and the hummus fries. I've never had the hummus fries, which is just wild. I can't believe I haven't had that yet. But what was your favourite dish? What did you really enjoy from Spice Road Table? Again, I always love hearing what people recommend for dishes because, like the question earlier about ice cream, sometimes I don't know, like, because some restaurants, the vegan options will be great, but the non-vegan options aren't. So then it's difficult because I'm like, I don't want to be telling people this is a really good restaurant, and then everyone's like, it's really not. So I'm always like, this place has a good vegan option, but I don't know what it's like. So it's always nice to hear what people recommend, and they're like, these are the good dishes, these are the good restaurants. Yes, I'm loving that you love the hummus fries and the cauliflower. They just sound so delicious. And I don't know if they've still got them on the menu, but they used to have dolmas, which is the stuffed grape leaves, which is so good. And I'm just like, everything sounds delicious. And again, I think small plates are nice in hot weather because that's the other thing. Like your appetite definitely gets impacted by the heat. So I always go in my mind like I'm gonna eat in this place, I'm gonna get this snack, and I'm gonna get this, and then I don't eat hardly any of the things that I think I'm gonna eat because it's just so hot, and your appetite's like absolutely not. It's not happening. Berlin, this is a really good question. What did I think of the new vegan options in Disneyland Paris? And I was super impressed. I really liked the Lucky Nugget. There you had a bean stew with meatballs, which was really good. And then it had a chocolate mousse dessert. And what was really nice is it was great to have like a chocolate dessert. Because it was a mousse, I was expecting it to be more light and more whipped. But it was more of a thicker mousse. But it was nice. And the fact that you can get a chocolate dessert, I was like thrilled with. I tried the vegan loaded Doritos, which again I thought was really good, and it's a big portion. So it sounds like it would be more like a snack, but I had it as a meal and it was big. Like if it was a snack, you'd need to share it. But that was really, really good. I also tried Annette's vegan breakfast, and the food itself was good. The only thing I would say is the service was really, really, really slow. And I would say if you wanted to do a brunch, so maybe go into the parks early, get on some rides whilst the queues are really low, and then come out about 10 o'clock and have that breakfast is a good option, because then if the service is a bit slow, it's not a problem. Whereas if you go there before going into the parks, you are like looking at a watch, like, oh my god, it's taking so much time. But what I did like about if you go to Annette's for breakfast is you get a hot drink and a juice included in the price. You get 2 drinks and your breakfast, whichever you choose, which I think is really, really good. The breakfast is more affordable than the hotels. Obviously, in the hotels, it's buffets, so you can have as much as you want, so you can fill up, whereas this is obviously like a set menu. But it was €19, and that was for the breakfast and the 2 drinks, which was great. And the vegan option was interesting, because you had chili, which I've never had chili for breakfast, but the chili was really good. You also got like a wrap that had peppers and onions and cheese in it. You had avocado toast. You had some mushrooms, some fruit. So it was like a nice variety of options. So yeah, I very much enjoyed that. And yeah, it was just so nice. There were so many vegan options to try. I also finally tried the vegan nuggets in Toad and I was so impressed. You got 9 nuggets, which was huge. And they're unbelievable. They're like super crunchy and crisp. And I feel like if I didn't know they were vegan, I wouldn't know. It's one of those dishes that if on the menu they had normal nuggets and the vegan nuggets, I would panic that they had given me the normal ones. So I'm glad that they don't have that, so you know for sure they are the vegan ones. And that is one of the vegan dilemmas of modern day life, is that now sometimes the replicas can be so good that you panic because you think, I think I've been given the wrong one. Whereas back in the day, you could always kind of tell the difference. So you always were like, this is fine because I know this is definitely the vegan one. Whereas now I'm just like, is it? So I was so impressed with that. And I know that Berlin, you'd actually said to me you'd had them before and you felt the same. They were very, very similar. Like you can't really tell the difference, which is wild. Like it's so impressive. It's so good. Yes, Kevin, this is so right. As an adult visitor with no kids, Spice for a Table is a quieter restaurant as well, and the unique menu keeps a lot of people with younger families away, which I think is so right because it's so true. Like, if you've got younger kids, they might not be super adventurous eaters just yet. So kind of like the ability to be a bit more adult, a bit more chilled. So that's such a good point as well, which is so so good. Oh, this is a really, really good tip that in downtown Disney, in Disneyland in California, they have the new Din Tai Fung restaurant, and there's so many vegan options, and they're delicious. I've heard really good things. Is there still a very long queue? Because I know when it first opened, it was super long queues because it just is so amazing. Um, I love that you ate there 2 nights in a row, but I'd love to go there, and it just the food sounds delicious, and the fact that there's so many options to try. It's fantastic, and I feel like it's one of those restaurants that's good for everyone. So if you're visiting with non-vegans, everyone's going to enjoy that restaurant, which is sometimes the thing you need, isn't it? You don't want it like I say. Sometimes I'm like, oh, the vegan food's really good there, but it's not good for other people. So when you find a restaurant that everyone's going to love, it's like we've got to go. We've got to go. And yes, I love that you mentioned that you went with people that were also non-vegan and they loved it as well. And yes, Anne-Marie, if we could get one in Disney World, that would be fantastic. And this is the thing, I feel like the American Disney parks, the food, like, it's interesting because I'll sometimes hear people go, oh, the food's not good. And I'm like, I don't know if it's just because, and I think this is at all Disney parks, if you don't do any research beforehand and you just get hungry and go, there's a restaurant, sometimes it's not going to be the best restaurant. Whereas if you go in knowing, oh, these ones are really highly recommended, this dish is really, really good, and you know where the good food is, you can eat so well in the Disney parks. And I definitely find like Disney World and Disneyland amazing. And I think Disneyland Paris is definitely getting better. And there's now some like really great restaurants, some really great dishes. And again, it's just you need to know where the good food's at. And then once you know, you're like, I'm set. I'm absolutely perfect. And yes, the wait was hours to get in. So you definitely need a reservation, but it's so worth it, which will be amazing. And Kevin has asked, do I know when my next Disney World visit might be? I've really enjoyed the series of videos. And yes, this is the thing, I'm desperately trying to save up. And obviously the past year, because I used to have my old job where I had my regular income, and what I would do is every single month save money, and I knew each year I've got this much money set aside for trips, and then I would plan trips 2 years in advance because I could know how much I would have saved. And then since being made redundant and then kind of focusing on most magical guides and getting that off the ground, now the income is all over the place, which totally makes sense when you kind of set up your own business. And that's the only thing that's kind of stopping me at the moment, knowing exactly when I'm going to get to go back. But like I say, I am saving hard because I do love going to Disney World. Like, I feel like there's nothing quite like it. And it's just such a dream to visit. It's always so, so nice. So hopefully we will have an update at some point. But yes, it's just a case of like, when I will get the money together, but I'm working towards it, so it's very, very exciting. And like I say, whenever it's like Christmas and birthdays, I'm like, just give me the money, people. I don't need presents, just give me the money. So I'm hoping that, and that does make such a big difference. So that will be so, so good. And yeah, it's just so much fun to get to, because it's a longer trip as well. It's so nice because you just soak everything up, because you're there for such a long period of time, and just being in that Disney bubble for that long is amazing. And it's always so fun doing the vlogs, and that's something that's really nice now, is having come back from Disneyland Paris, you still feel in the Disney bubble, because each day I'm editing and seeing the trip back, and I'm currently editing the second day of the trip, which was the super long day. And it's where I did a lot of the music festival season. I got to see the new fireworks show. I tried some new dishes. There was so much going on that day, and it was one of my favourite days I've ever had in Disneyland Paris. So that will be coming out on Wednesday, which is so fun. And then there'll be one other vlog. So it's only 3 vlogs for this series, but there's going to be vegan dining reviews, and I also filmed 5 videos whilst I was out there. So we're going to do like an in-depth look at the updated shops in Disney Village. I've got one all about the lockers at the train station. So if you did need them, what it's like, how you use them, how you pay for them, the prices, stuff like that. I'm going to do an updated version of how to get from Charles de Gaulle to Disneyland Paris and back. And because my new camera is much smoother, it should be a much more enjoyable viewing experience than my other video. So yeah, there's a few different planning videos that are also going to come out of it as well, which is going to be fantastic, which is so much fun. Oh, thank you so much, Kevin. That's so much fun. And yeah, it's so great to kind of get to see new people watching the videos and reaching out, and that's just so fun. And also for all of the people who have used the planning services as well, like me and Berlin have had an amazing time planning her trips, and it's just so nice to kind of be able to kind of pass on all of the tips and knowledge I've learned over the years to kind of streamline and make things easier for people so that they can get the most out of their trips. And it's such a joy for me, because it's just so rewarding to kind of know, like, you've been able to do something, and hopefully it makes trips more easy, more fun. And my favourite part is normally people will come back to you after they've been and then let you know how the trip was, and it's just so fun to kind of hear all of the updates. And yeah, it's just such a joy. So it's been such a pleasure. So hopefully it will just continue to grow, and yeah, it's just so nice to be able to help so many people and kind of just be in the Disney spirit all the time, which is so fantastic. And that was actually something I was thinking about, because what I tried to do is, with the live streams, is kind of theme them. So like this one was obviously summer, but I was thinking maybe in the future what could be interesting, and let me know if this is something you would like, is maybe to reach out and be like, if anyone has a trip coming up and maybe they'd like help planning their itinerary, we could do it live on one of the live streams. So that way it'll be super fun for maybe the 1 or 2 or maybe 3 people that actually can kind of have their itinerary planned out live, but also it can show you the tips and tricks I use when planning an itinerary. So why I would choose to visit on certain days, and like how to get the most out of a trip, and how many days do you need in each park, and what should your day look like, and things like that. So I was like, oh, maybe that would be quite an interesting kind of theme, where it's kind of like a live itinerary planning or something like that. Because we haven't done something like that, and we normally do it themed around a topic, but I'm like, maybe doing something practical would be really, really fun, and hopefully, like, if there's people that need an itinerary planned, that could be something really interesting as well. That would be so good. Yes, I'm so glad you'd be interested in the lockers and the travel to Charlotte Hall, and I was so impressed with the lockers. They were so easy to use. They were really cheap. Loads and loads of space available, and I was like, this is the one, because I've used the Luggage Express before. I've obviously used the free luggage storage at the hotels, but this was like a really good option because it was cheap and convenient. So I can't wait to share that video, which will be absolutely amazing. And yes, the travel to Charles de Gaulle. And what's interesting actually is the past couple of trips I've done, the UK flights have been landing at a different terminal, and it's actually really convenient because it's much closer to the train station. And I recorded in real time walking from the terminal to the train station. It took me 3 minutes. It was so close. So it's so handy, so quick. But yeah, I'm going to do a step by step, and then it also has some like tips about traveling to the train station. Traveling by the train, and like tips about the train station and the airport itself. So hopefully that'll be super handy. And yes, I'm so glad you like the idea of doing like the live itinerary planning. And yeah, I just think it's so interesting kind of show like what I do when, like, my thought process of when I'm planning an itinerary, like how to get the most out of a trip, because that's the thing, like, and I don't know, again, I suppose it's just experience, but I know sometimes I've been visiting, particularly Disney World, at the same time as other people, and I will pick the days that I go to the park very specifically to try and be there on the quiet days. And I'll speak to people, and they were like, oh my god, every single day it was so busy. We waited ages and ages for rides. And I'm like, that's the complete opposite of my experience. But we were visiting different parks each day. And I'm like, I think that makes such a difference. So I think that'd be a really, really cool idea for a live. Yes, you're so right, Berlin. The hotels, the lockers in Disneyland itself are so expensive. And like the luggage storage in the parks. But the train station, that I actually got a medium-sized locker, and I had my cabin case in there, but there was still loads of room, and it was €5.50 for 24 hours, which is unbelievably good value. And like the bigger lockers where you could have like this big suitcases and multiple cases were only something like €8.50 or €9.50 all day, so it's really, really affordable. So I totally recommend that. And that's the thing, if you've got lots of luggage or there's multiple people, you can kind of just get away with one locker for a super cheap price, which is so amazing. And yes, Kevin, you love the idea of vacation planning. And yeah, you're so right. All of the planners can geek out with the other Disney people sharing their tips. And that's what's so nice, isn't it? Because like everyone will have their own unique insights and like things that they've done that have really worked for them. And like, you know, stuff that, you know, we've never thought of, and then someone's like, oh my god, but I do this, and it's like, that's genius, absolutely need to do that. So I just think it's always so fun to kind of put those things together. Oh, bless you, Berlin. That is a very early start time, so thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, I hope the alarm is not too much of a shock, because 4:45 a.m. is very early. That's so early, bless you. It's so difficult, isn't it? But yeah, I always love the last Sunday of the month, because we always do our planning and our live streams, and this is the best part because of the interaction, and it's so lovely to always talk to you, and also for you to all take time out, because I know like we're also so busy, and being able to take out such a big chunk of time, I'm always so thankful, because it's so wonderful, and we always learn so much, and it's so great to hear people's experiences and their tips, so it's always so fun. But thank you so much for sharing all of your thoughts about visiting in the summer, your own experiences, and hearing about your upcoming trips, because it's just the absolute best. And I can't believe it's already been over 2 hours. It always flies by. This is another reason why I love the live stream. It just whizzes out of the window, and it's just the best way to kind of have a nice wind down on a Sunday evening. So thank you so much. Oh, Kevin, this is a good idea. Which crowd calendar for Disney World is recommended? You used Undercover Tourist, and there is a touring plans one that costs money. And yeah, I kind of will look at a few different free websites. So I've definitely used Undercover Tourist before, and it's difficult because crowd calendars, I feel like, since the pandemic, have been less reliable because every year Disney seems to shift a lot, and people visit very differently now. But I do think, to get a general overall sense, I always use Undercover Tourist, but I will look up a few different websites just to kind of get the sense of what they all think. Because typically you will find some things will overlap, and I'm like, okay, that's really helpful. But there are like certain times of the year where you kind of know that would typically be a bit quieter, and stuff like the parks, so like Magic Kingdom midweek will always be quieter than if you do like Friday till Monday, stuff like that. And it's also interesting because obviously a lot of US visitors will visit for long weekends, so they have to pack a lot into a shorter period of time, and typically over a weekend. So those days will be very busy in the parks. So if you can visit for a long period of time, I will always try and do rest days on the weekend. But it might be stuff like Disney Springs or a water park, so still doing Disney things, but you're not, say, in Magic Kingdom on a Saturday, which is always going to be unbelievably busy and not fun. But yeah, there's some rules of thumb that I kind of use when it comes to days of the week to visit. So like Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom, I always do midweek. If I'm going to do a park on a Monday or a Friday, maybe it'll be Epcot. If I do need to visit a park on a weekend, I will do a Animal Kingdom, and typically on a Sunday. I will always try and avoid Saturdays in the parks because they are just the busiest. Always. There's no way of getting around it. Yes, but I love that we're all on the same page. We've all got the same strategy. And yes, Anne-Marie, you're so right. Crowd calendars are not reliable anymore. Years ago, you could really plan around specific days, but now people homeschool or work from home. It's very difficult to predict. And yeah, I totally agree. Because yeah, the way people visit is very different now. The times of year people can visit is very different, and yeah, it makes such a difference. And like you say, it was very much like this month will always be quiet, but now, because everyone knows it's a quiet month, it's not necessarily a quiet month because everyone visits. I've actually seen, because I always love September, because typically that was always a month that is quiet, mostly because where the schools have just gone back, most parents don't want to immediately take their kids out again, so that still tends to work. However, when it comes to Epic Universe, I've heard loads of people go, I'm not going to visit in June, I'm going to visit in September because September's a quiet month. So I feel like this September could be quite busy because so many people are going for Epic Universe. Whether they're just visiting Universal, and maybe Disney will still be relatively quieter, perhaps, but everyone's gone, September's quiet, so we're all going in September. So September might not be so quiet now. Hi Gareth, it's lovely to see you. Yes, I absolutely remember. Thank you so much for joining us. It's lovely to see you again. I hope you've been well. And it's so exciting you're going back to Disney World in November. And yeah, All-Star Sports. I love the All-Star Resorts. I think they're so lovely. Love the theming. I think the rooms are super comfortable. I know, it's just the best, isn't it, when you've got a new countdown and you're ready to go again. And I can't wait to follow along. That's going to be so much fun. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. It's been such a lovely live stream. So like I said, I never ever don't appreciate you taking the time out, because I know also these do last quite long. But it's because the time flies by and I never realise the time, which is so wonderful. But yeah, we will definitely look at doing the live itinerary planning, because I think that would be super fun. And yes, it's going to be absolutely amazing to speak to you next. I was going to say next Sunday, which is a lie. The last Sunday of next month. And then what's exciting is in July, we've got the Most Magical Meetup. So if you are in the UK and you can get to London, the 19th of July, we're going to be doing a meetup, which is going to be so much fun. And then the following weekend is when the next live stream will be. So it'll be great to kind of meet people. And then if you aren't able to come, I'll still be able to talk to you on the live stream the following weekend. So it's going to be like 2 great weekends. It's going to be so good. I'm so glad that you've been able to go to Epic a few times, and it's absolutely amazing. From what I've seen, it looks incredible. Like, I just cannot wait. Like, I actually had a dream last night about Monsters Unchained, even though I've never been on it. But I had just a dream that I was going on it, and it was amazing. So I clearly need to go to Epic Universe. It's gonna be so good. And yes, I have not been able to go to Oogie Boogie Bash. I am desperate to go because it's such a different Halloween event from Mickey's Not So Scary, and it looks next level incredible. So I'd love it if you get to go, and I'd love to hear what you think of it, because that's like on my bucket list of things I want to do. Like, one of the Disney experiences I need to have, and it's Oogie Boogie Bash, and it just looks next level insane, amazing, and I love that it's so unique. And yeah, it was an amazing dream, and I was just like, this is awesome. And I was like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm loving it. And it's funny, isn't it, how, like, I've obviously seen, like, some of the clips. I haven't obviously seen, like, the full ride or anything like that, and there have been, like, little clips circulating on the internet, so you kind of get a sense of how cool it all looks, but I'm just like, this is amazing. It's so good. Oh, that's a good question when it comes to when is the Christmas party announced? And I feel like it's typically more like July, August time is when the dates and tickets will go on sale. So it's a few months in advance. So yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see this year, because I feel like this year some things are very late. So like Mickey's Not So Scary tickets went on sale late. Halloween Horror Nights, we still haven't got any details about the dates or the tickets going on sale, which obviously makes sense because Universal had to focus on Epic Universe. But I feel like because there's so much going on, everyone's announcing stuff late this year. But hopefully July we'll get information, or at least August at the latest, and you'll be able to get tickets, which will be so much fun. And this is great. When does Haunted Mansion do Night Before Christmas? And I feel like they change it for Halloween, and then it stays all the way through throughout the Christmas season. So typically, I feel like it shuts for a little period of time. Like, maybe it might even be like up to a month, which will probably be, well, I'm assuming, because the Halloween season, I feel like it starts in September in California, so it's a little bit later than Florida. So maybe August it might be shut, but it should then switch. And it's so good. It's so good. And I was kind of sad because I was like, oh, I'm not going to get to experience Haunted Mansion. Like, it's going to be the overlay. I was obsessed with the overlay. It's incredible. It's so good. And yes, so Joe, it's not just when Oogie Boogie Bash is on. It will carry on all throughout the Christmas season as well. So I was on it in November into early December, having an amazing time, and then it typically Haunted Mansion will shut in January after the Christmas season for a few weeks so that they can switch it back to the regular Haunted Mansion. So it's quite a long period of time to go and enjoy it, which is so exciting because it's so cool. And yes, I hope you do get an Oogie Boogie Bash ticket, because like you said, they do tend to go really fast. Like, they sell out the day they go on sale. So I really hope that you get to experience it, because it looks so cool. And like I say, there's just so many things that you don't get to experience in any other park. So it just looks like the best event. And I do love that, even though we've been talking about summer, because Halloween starts in August in a lot of the Disney parks and at Universal, we get to talk about Halloween now, which is so much fun, and it's just one of the best times of the year to visit Disney and Universal, I think, because their events are just so cool. And yeah, it would be the dream to go to Disneyland to do Oogie Boogie Bash, and I'd also love to do Halloween Horror Nights out in Universal in Hollywood as well. I think that would be really cool, because they tend to have slightly different houses to Orlando. They also have the Terror Tram, which looks amazing. So absolutely love that. I'd also like to do Knott's Berry Farm, where they have their scare event. So it needs to happen. Like, need to be out there. This is the thing. There's so many things to do, isn't there? And again, one of the great things about Disney is all throughout the year, and Universal, they will do different events and different seasons. So no matter when you visit, it's going to be different. And I just think that's so awesome. So, but the problem is, you're now like, I need to visit every month of the year. And I'm just like, this is the difficult thing. When do you plan to go? So yeah, I absolutely love hearing other people's experiences and like events and special seasons they've enjoyed. But yes, Halloween Horror Nights is just so much fun. I'm obsessed with it, and it's that thing of like, I was nervous to go because I love everything horror, love everything spooky, but I'm very scared of haunted houses because I had a bad experience in one as a kid. So I was nervous to go, and then I went to it, and I was like fighting so hard to not make Halloween Horror Nights my entire personality. And I was like, you've got to stop talking about it. But I was just absolutely obsessed. It was so good. But now I went to the Thorpe Park Fright Night. I survived. I went to the London Dungeons recently on my own. I've like completely come full circle. I was scared of like haunted houses and stuff because of this childhood incident. Now I'm going to these things on my own. And I was like, when we went to London Dungeons, I was like the brave person in the group. You know, there's always one person who's just very unfazed and surviving and enjoying it. It was me, and I was like, I'm a different person. I've changed. So that was so fun. Yes, you're so right, Gareth. In 5 years, we'll be talking about this in Bedford, which is so exciting. Like, and the fact that we know we're going to have Halloween Horror Nights in the UK, I already know I'm getting the frequent fear pass. I already know it's happening. I'm going to go multiple times. I'm obsessed with it. And yes, it would be amazing to live next to Disney, isn't it? Because, like you say, you get to go multiple days a week. No matter what season, what festival, what new merch, new food, you get to try it all. Like, it's literally the dream, isn't it? When you live near Disney, it's just the best. And yeah, it's so hard though, isn't it? Because that's the other problem. Do you visit other places, or do you go, but I haven't been to Disney for the Christmas season, so maybe I'll do that instead. And it's so hard to not keep going to Disney. I think that's the thing. Loads of people are like, why do you keep going to Disney? I'm like, I don't think you understand, guys. Like, visiting different times a year is a completely different experience. Visiting different Disney parks is a completely different experience. Like, every time you go, even if you go to the same Disney park every single time, because there's new rides, new updates, different seasons, different festivals happening, it's a different experience. And I'm like, you could go to Disney 100 times and it will be a different trip every single time you go, which I think is amazing. Because you don't kind of get that. Like, if you go to the same holiday resort every single year, you know what to get. But that's kind of nice because you've got that familiarity and you know you enjoy it. But Disney, you have the familiarity, but it's still also different. And I'm like, this is why we love it. It's so good. It's so exciting. And yeah, I've loved talking all about the Halloween stuff because I just love Halloween. Obsessed with it. All of the events. I just can't go. I absolutely love it. And the fact that we're going to get to have more... I feel like Halloween events are becoming more popular in the UK because we kind of got on board with Halloween and we were like, we could do the dressing up, we could do the films, it'll be great. But like, Halloween events are getting more and more popular every year. It's something I'd love to do this year. And if there are other people out there that love scary things and they'd like to do a meetup, do let me know because I'd love to go to Tully's Farm. This is a super big... like haunt scary event, and in fact it looks much scarier than Halloween Horror Nights. But it looks so much fun, and that's something I'm desperate to try this year. It looks so good. I've got the bug now and I want to go to all of them all the time. So there are other people who love it, and the thing that's difficult is there's, for everyone that likes horror or spooky events, there's like 10 people that don't. So sometimes it can be very hard within your friendship group to find people who also like to do those things. So maybe we will support, or do like a support group, and we'll all meet up and go together and go and scare ourselves silly, and it'll be super, super fun. Because, yeah, they're just really, really good. And what's interesting is Halloween Horror Nights, I think, is actually a really good introduction to scare events because they're scary, but they're controlled in the sense of, because the houses, everything's on a track, like an audio track. So the scares will happen when the audio happens. So it's kind of choreographed. Whereas in the UK event, well, I mean, I'm talking about Thorpe Park Fright Nights and Tully's Farm, that's not the case. Like, the scare actors will run up to you, they will get right in your face. It's all live interaction. It's not based on an audio track. So it's very, very different, much scarier. So I do think Halloween Horror Nights is a really good introduction. And then if you like that, and this is the thing, like, I was scared when I was in the houses. And if you've seen the audio, you would have heard that. But when I came out, I was like, oh my God, it was so much fun. So if you're that sort of person that you get nervous, but then you get that adrenaline rush and it's super fun, you will love the UK scare events as well, because they are definitely scarier, but they are still absolutely a hoot. It's so fun. Yes, Gareth, you're so right. Your family and friends are like, don't you get bored? And you're like, no, it's always something new. And I think that's the great thing, isn't it? The parks are always evolving. There's always something new to enjoy. And that's why I think we can just go back all the time. Yes, I love it. You're also someone that loves haunted houses, scary stuff, Disney, and a vegan. It's just like the best combination, isn't it? And it's interesting because there is such a big crossover between people who love spooky things and Disney, and like vegans that love Disney. Like, it's so interesting to see these kind of like groups all merge, because people would assume if you like really like horror films or like heavy metal that you wouldn't like Disney, but there's such a big crossover, which I think is really fun. Yes, Jill, the audio from Halloween Horror Nights was iconic. And I actually kind of think it's funnier because obviously you can't record in the houses, but I had my mic still on. So when I got home, it was hilarious to be like, oh my god, we've captured that. But it's almost funnier that you can't see what's happening because it's just like, what are you going through? And to be fair, the Insidious house was really frightening. It's not like if you saw the what was happening, you'd go, why she's screaming? That seems over the top. Because it was genuinely frightening, but it's always funnier that you can't see it because it's just like, what is happening to this? She sounds like she's being murdered. There's also a really funny bit in the audio where, because like I say, sometimes you'll be the person who's like the target who gets the scares, and sometimes it's the people like in front or behind you. And there's a really funny bit in the audio where something happens to me and I scream, and then the woman in front of me screams because I screamed, and she's like, oh no, you really scared. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. So it's like a little like domino effect of everyone scaring each other, which is brilliant. So yeah, it's such a laugh. It's such a good. You're gonna have such a good time. I'm so excited for you to experience it. But I just think it's so well done, and the fact that you have the really nice mixture between the IPs. So it's all of the kind of films that you know of, which is so great, and then the original stories. And I have to say, like, my favourite house, obviously Insidious, because I love the films. I thought the house was super scary. It was really well done. But my second favourite was Goblin Feast, and I was obsessed with that house. It was so funny, as well as being like gory, and I just love that. Like, how fun it must be to work on Halloween Horror Nights and come up with these storylines and what the houses are going to be like. It must just be an absolute hoot. And it's actually interesting. I've really this year got into the speculation maps and the accounts that really kind of follow it, and there's like hints that kind of get put out there. So like we kind of know Terrifier is definitely one of the houses because the little hints that get put out there keep kind of suggesting Terrifier. So we're like, that's almost certainly happening. But it's really interesting to see it evolve and learn stuff. Like they were saying, when they start planning Halloween Horror Nights, they will have loads and loads of IPs that they are trying to negotiate deals with, and how would the house work and stuff like that. And then what will happen is over time, sometimes they will get dropped out or it just can't quite work and whatever it is. So then obviously it gets narrowed down over time. So some houses look like they're going to possibly happen, but then all of a sudden all mention of it kind of disappears, but it might be because the contract couldn't get worked out or whatever it is. So it's actually been really interesting following that, because now I've become obsessed with Halloween Horror Nights. I'm just like, I need to see it all. I need to know what's going on. I need to know all the gossip. I need to know all the rumours. So it's going to be so fun. Yes, it would be like that if we worked at Disney or Universal all the time. Yeah, it's just such a hoot, isn't it? It's so good. But yeah, I'm so glad we've got the Mickey's Not So Scary dates, and I'm hoping we'll get Halloween Horror Nights soon. And then, once they've released the dates, they should start releasing the houses, because I'm just so excited to see who is going to be there this year. And if there's a Terrifier house, it's going to be absolutely incredible, guys. Because if you've ever seen the Terrifier films, Art the Clown is iconic. It'll be interesting to see how they turn the houses into... how they turn it into a house, because it is a very gory franchise. But yeah, that one looks like a dead cert, and I'm just like, it has to happen. It has to happen. It was made for Halloween Horror. So I just cannot wait. It's going to be so good. But yeah, like I said, thank you so much for joining me. It's just been such a laugh. It's been such a hoot. I've been loving getting to hear all of your tips, your advice, and just getting to chat, because it's so lovely on Instagram to have the messages and the comments on here. But it's next level to kind of be able to interact in real time, which is amazing. So thank you so much. And like I say, next month, the last Sunday of the month, we will be back. In July, on the 19th, we have the meet up in London, which is going to be awesome. We've got Disneyland Paris vlogs going up, planning videos, dining reviews, and then of course we'll be having more Disney World planning videos. There is still lots and lots to come, but thank you so much for joining me and for spending your Sunday evening with me. And until next time, I hope you have a most magical day. We can say it at the end of the live stream as well, which is so exciting. But yeah, thank you so much once again, and I will speak to you very soon. Do come and chat on Instagram, all of those good places. And until I see you next month, I hope you have a lovely rest of May and the start of June. I can't believe we're already 6 months into the year. What's happening? Where is this year going? It's just absolutely flying by. But thank you so much, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Thank you.